See so-called wanderers of all shapes and sizes passing by Earth all the time. But now they say they've discovered the largest comet they have ever seen, and it will reach the orbit of Saturn in 2031. Dubbed Bernard Donnelly Bernstein after the two astronomers who discovered it.
It is a long-standing tradition that comets, the discoverer gets their name attached to the comet, like Halley's Comet. So nothing wrong with the names, it's just I'm a little clumsy with names. But this comet is unusual. And if I say something like giant comet headed toward the sun or whatever, people will get a panicky, strange idea. It's not like that at all. This is not going to come anywhere near the Earth, in fact, quite a distance away. But there's something about it that's special. It really is a big comet.
This is the most important meteorite ever to have fallen in Britain. It will help reveal the birth of the solar system.
By the way, the largest comet ever seen has now been discovered, and apparently it's heading toward the sun. Researchers say this comet will make its closest approach to Earth in 2031.
Okay, so I'm perusing yesterday, and all of a sudden, no one's talking about this, but apparently we might die this weekend. Actually, I should take that back. The scientists say we won't, but there is an asteroid that's coming very close. So that's how you say that so matter-of-factly. So there are like designations for asteroids, and this one in particular has been labeled potentially hazardous because of how close it will come to Earth tomorrow. Did anybody tell you that?
I didn't know about
There's an asteroid coming. We have no Ben Affleck ready. There's nothing happening. It's like the end of days is unavailable. Yeah. We have no idea what's going on.
Part of a family driveway on which a meteorite landed in February has been removed and will go on display at the Natural History Museum. The meteorite, which is already on display at the museum, crash-landed in Gloucestershire in February. Scientists will carry out research on both the meteorite and the driveway.
In the depths of the winter lockdown, something bright came to Earth. A blazing fireball from back in deep time landed on a driveway in the Cotswolds. It was a space rock.
Yeah. So will you keep your eyes to the skies there? Always, always. And we'll always have an interest in it because we've been inspired by the scientists we've met. So we always want to keep going.
Waiting for that next fireball.
Yeah.
This is the most important meteorite ever to have fallen in Britain.
Gary Bernstein, a University of Pennsylvania astronomer and co-discoverer of the object, said in a statement, "We have the privilege of having discovered perhaps the largest comet ever seen, or at least larger than any well-studied one, and caught it early enough for people to watch it evolve as it approaches and warms up. Experts say that it's the most distant comet ever to be discovered."
It's outgassing quite far already. It's not as close as it'll get, so it has to be some volatiles that are coming off. I just don't know what they will be. And by the way, just for your reference, here's the state of Delaware. So, and here's the size of Los Angeles County compared to Delaware. So we're talking about an LA County-sized comet out there kind of flying at us. So, keep that in mind whenever we reference Delaware. It's a little longer than it.
Controversial footage showing a strange anomaly in Antarctica has recently been uploaded on Instagram by a group called UFO Scandinavia. The image shows a man zooming in on a high-definition satellite photo taken from mapping software Google Earth. The photo in question appears to show an enormous structure rising out of the ice, with a massive alien-like face, complete with a mouth, nose, and staring eyes. The footage, which now has over 100,000 views online, has sparked heated debate online. Conspiracy theorist Blake Cousins of YouTube channel Third Phase of Moon has claimed that the vast structure could be something that was left behind by the ancient civilizations of Antarctica. This would link in with the long-held conspiracy theorist belief that an ancient civilization, possibly of alien origin, has lived or still does live under the Antarctic ice. Other comments on the video have been more level-headed, one explaining this is purely natural and random, looks like ice with cracks. Indeed, it has been suggested that seeing such alien faces both in Antarctica and elsewhere is the result of pareidolia, an effect which causes the brain to interpret random shapes as something recognizable. Examples of this misinterpretation would be when people see the face of Jesus on a piece of toast or a dragon in a cloud formation. In April 2019, Scott C. Waring, who runs the website UFO Sightings Daily, identified the face of ancient Greek philosopher Socrates on a NASA image of a rock on Mars. The previous month, Waring had identified buildings, towers, pyramids, and even some abandoned ships on photos of the asteroid Bennu, which orbits the Sun at around 63,000 miles per hour. All this despite the fact that Bennu is in fact only 1/3 of a mile, half a kilometer, wide at its equator. That is only slightly wider than the height of the Empire State Building. Few places in Peru are as
Ready to start eating healthier? Meet Cachava. Cachava is the world's healthiest
as intriguing and mysterious as the Marquesi Plateau. It's an eerie place containing many legends and strange stories of mysterious subterranean chambers, sightings of balls of light, or even encounters with unknown inner earth beings. According to Peruvian explorer and philosopher Daniel Russo, the ancient people who built Marquesawi were called the Masma, and apparently Peru was not their only home. The Masma carved Marquesi figures using an unknown molding technique before and after the Great Flood, which was long before the ancestors of the Incas. The strangest of all these carvings are gigantic figures up to 90 feet tall that date back thousands of years. There are also many sculptures depicting both men and animals like camels, horses, turtles, penguins, frogs, dogs, monkeys, seals, and others. Also to be found at Marquesi are a number of intriguing unexplored ancient subterranean caverns and tunnels. Another mysterious face is hidden deep within the southeastern Peruvian Amazon rainforest, carved into stone cliffs. Known as the face of the Amakarii, this mysterious ancient sculpture is said to have existed since the beginning of time. However, despite the fact that the face is well known from ancient myths, legends, and even expeditions which have managed to find it, its location is difficult to find these days and even harder to access. In 2015, UK filmmaker Paul Redman visited the stone sculpture together with a group of Harakbit tribesmen. The very existence of the carved face has been the stuff of legend, passed down for generations among Harakbit families, but few among their people had ever seen it. The remarkable Lady of Mali is a giant ancient rock sculpture located in Guinea, West Africa. The lady overlooks an almost inaccessible summit of Mount Lure, 1,500 meters up, and its full shape is clearly visible for miles around. The Lady of Mali appears to be a giant effigy of a female figure 150 meters high, with the head like a crown carved into a huge granite wall of rock, which in ancient times may have been the rocky shore of a lake or a sea, and been facing out towards the Atlantic Ocean. A mysterious giant face of unknown origins has been discovered carved on a remote island in Canada. Was it created and left as a message by one of the ancestors of the Sisha-Ata tribe, or is it a natural formation? The face is almost 2 meters tall and was discovered by Hank Gus, a beachkeeper from the Sisha-Ata First Nation tribe that owns the land. The face was first spotted in 2008, and Hank Gus has been searching for it ever since. Now he has finally found it. Hank said that he is not sure whether the curious face is an optical illusion created by Mother Nature or a message from his ancestors. According to local myth, a representation of the messenger of Viracocha, the creator of civilization, named Huiracochan or Juniper, is shown in the small village of Ollantaytambo, southern Peru. The face can be seen in the profile in the cliffs below Pinculuna Mountain, above the fortress at Ollantaytambo in the sacred valley of Incas, and is said to be that of the creator Viracocha. Also, the majority of the tour guides who escort visitors through the sprawling temple fortress would have you believe. But this has not always been so. If you look through the collected works of the multitude of explorers, historians and archaeologists who have described Ollantaytambo in detail, going back 167 years, there is no mention of the name. Before the 1990s, you'd be hard-pressed to find any mention of Viracocha or any of the alternative names and spellings for the creator deity looming from the mountainside over this historic Inca settlement and ceremonial site. Not Juniper, not Viracocha, nor ceremonial site. The book used by guides to the site as a reference is The Sacred Valley of the Incas, Myths and Symbols by Fernando and Edgar Elorrieta in 1995. This book attempts to bring together Andean mythology and solar alignment and is full of illustrations to make the case for mystic images and hidden iconography contained in the megalithic architecture and surrounding landscapes of Inca and pre-Inca sites. In the book, the Elorrieta brothers identify, among other things, a lizard, 2 pumas, one upright, one crouching, and a cosmic bird at Machu Picchu, a flying condor at Pisac, and at Ollantaytambo, a condor, a sacred tree, 2 llamas, a corn cob, and most impressively of all, Viracocha. However, in another book about the site called Exploring Cusco by Peter Frost in 1999, the author notes that it has become fashionable, almost dominant, to interpret the mysterious rock formation at Ollantaytambo as representing Viracocha. Frost goes on to write, while Elorrieta's book offers some interesting observations concerning solar alignments and man-made features, the grand overarching symbolic scheme proposed here seems fanciful to this author. In the chronicles of the Augustan friar Antonio de la Calancha, 1584 to 1684, there is a passage that says that the first survivor of the deluge was Viracocha, or the Juniper of the Titicaca Highlands, and those of the provinces of Cusco recognized him as his father and his god, and that he appeared in Tambo, a town next to Cusco, and that he went out through a window and became a stone to which they made great veneration. Later on in the work, Calancha says that the tradition of the people of Cusco and Tambo reported that Manco Capac, the mythical son of the sun god Inti and the progenitor of the Inca dynasty, had founded the first town in Tambo. Is it not more likely then that the mysterious image of the human head on the slope of Pincu Iluna is none other than the Inca creator god, Manco Capac? One can only wonder why ancient cultures carved such faces in the first place. Was it to honor their ancestors or their gods, perhaps? Whatever their reason, sites such as this drive us on and inspire us to want to know more about history, ancient culture, and the reason why such monuments exist in the first place.
It's still a complete and total theory, a farce actually. It's basically a ruse played on you, and I'll tell you why. It's to train you that you have a faulty body, that your sickness is your fault. The industry doesn't want you knowing these truths. The industry doesn't want you knowing any of that. The industry wants to keep you sick. That's how the money machine works. You've heard of that, right?
There's a big part of big pharma that's really dark that people are unaware of. That dark part of big pharma is 80, 90 years ago. They raised these viruses in labs using eggs as the virus's food. That's how it's done.
But in the end, you will get symptoms. Everybody does. No one's going to escape that unless they really know what to do for themselves. The medical industry is involved with why eggs are bad, not because they're out there talking about eggs being bad, but what happened is they were using eggs back years and years ago to raise bugs. So bugs are why we're sick. In order for pathogens to stay alive, they need food, and everybody has pathogens in their body. Everybody has pathogens in their system. That's how it works. So you can get your best medical information out there, alternative medicine, or your best healer or your best advisor in medical health, and they won't tell you which bugs or bugs that are responsible for this, responsible for all your illnesses, and how eggs feed these bugs. So this is critical information. It's really important. If you've been diagnosed with an autoimmune condition of any kind and your doctor finally said, hey, it's autoimmune, or you went online and looked and it's autoimmune, whatever that is, what that means, without anybody telling you, is that you have a condition or you have a pathogen inside the body causing problems, creating neurotoxins, creating dermatoxins. Like if it's eczema or psoriasis, that's a pathogen creating a toxin.
Look, let me show you why the easiest way to make your first $10,000 a month online is not becoming a coach, consultant, starting.
That floats to the skin. This is advanced information. Now, if you eat eggs, if you're eating them or you ate them in the past, you're feeding that pathogen. You're feeding that virus. And that's what's keeping you sick. And that's what's going to keep you sick. Look, the industries use this in labs as a food source for all the bugs that are keeping everybody down, disempowering women and men, actually hurting people, keeping them sick, hurting children, keeping them sick. That's what they did. They did that without your permission. No town hall meeting, no vote, no anything. This was done without your decisions involved. So eggs were actually ruined because of this, okay? And before all of this, yeah, eggs were probably fine food to eat. Why not? In the 1950s, they didn't know why all these people were sick. They were pouring in symptoms they'd never seen before. I'd even talked to old doctors back in the day when they were already 90 years old after practicing way back then. And I talked to them and they told me how it all worked and what was happening. And the autoimmune theory was just a way to confuse people, to protect science and research. Because see, science and research has to protect itself. And it uses you and womankind to do so. Not in all fields. I'm talking about chronic illness. So just know this, not in all fields. Think about technology back in the 1950s, late 1940s, right? Think about technology. Think about the phones. Go watch an old movie. I know I say this a lot. Watch an old movie and look at technology back in 1950, all right? You'll be in shock because we're so used to tech now, we're so used to life now, we're so used to what's happening now, okay? When you realize technology was where it was at, then you have to realize medicine was where technology was at back then too. It was in the dark ages, okay? That was the dark ages of medicine. That was where theories were born. Just like now, theories are here now. We're still, in the dark ages in many ways because, hey, they still don't even know what causes chronic illness and autoimmune. But think about as far as back in the late 1940s, early 1950s. Well, that's when the autoimmune theory was birthed. That's when it was born. Okay, so if you're someone who's young right now, if you're someone that's already been to a couple doctors, you got a little bit of eczema and you're realizing it's autoimmune, or you got some swelling on the body, or you got something you're getting a diagnosis of lupus, or you just got symptoms that are actually being classified as autoimmune, or you're dealing with a little fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome or whatever it is, that's all in the autoimmune family, or Lyme disease now pushed to autoimmune. I'm going to go into that in more detail. Whatever you're dealing with, okay?
autoimmune is a theory still. The word is a theory. The concept is a theory. Your sickness is real. Your symptoms are real. They are very real, way more real than the industry lets you feel or know, because that's how it is. By saying it's autoimmune, they're saying your body's attacking itself. They're saying your body's destroying itself. So that's what they're doing. So think about that for a minute. Here you are, you go to a doctor. It's not the doctor's fault. Doctors work for the industry. It's not, doctors are amazing. It's not about the doctor, but you go to the doctor and the doctor's gonna be like, yeah, you have an autoimmune condition. That's what you have. So now you're making your protein shakes. Now you're making your smoothies. Now you're having your hard-boiled eggs on salads. Now you're doing all this because you're trying to eat healthy. You go to a good functional medicine doctor. They're like, get off of gluten, get off of this, get off of that. But they still think you have an autoimmune condition. They're still following that 1950s theory where your body's attacking itself. See, autoimmune means your body's immune system is attacking the glands and organs. That's what it means. That's a theory that occurred back in the technology of that, old school of the 1940s and the 1950s. That was a theory that came up because science and research had to protect itself because millions of patients were coming in with new symptoms for the first time in history. So please know that. And there's no science proving autoimmune yet, the autoimmune theory. There's no science or research that can actually prove the autoimmune theory. Okay, that's how it works. You can look all you want. They'll still say your body's attacking itself, and they'll talk about an autoantibody, but they can never find that autoantibody causing harm. It's not possible. It's still a complete and total theory. A farce, actually. It's basically a ruse played on you. And I'll tell you why. It's to train you that you have a faulty body, that your sickness is your fault. It's not a pathogen. It's not the Epstein-Barr virus. It's not this. It's not that. The industry doesn't want you knowing these truths. The industry doesn't want you knowing any of that. The industry wants to keep you sick. That's how the money machine works. You've heard of that, right? The bugs that create all these illnesses were raised in labs and somehow escaped those labs 80, 90, 60 years ago. And these bugs were raised on eggs. If you don't have a chronic symptom, you don't have a chronic illness, you feel great, nothing's going on at any level, eat the eggs. And then if something comes up down the road, get rid of the eggs then.
Okay.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Can I be heard? Can I be heard? Give me a 7 in the chat if I can be heard. All praise and glory and honor to the Most High, forever live his anointed beloved Son. Hearts and minds of the faithful elect. Yeah. More proof that the majority of your illnesses, including the theory of being autoimmune, is foodborne. Foodborne, huh? I see y'all got 7s in the chat. That's what I'm talking about. Let me go ahead and post that link. Everybody running their mouth. Hey, look. One thing you can't come against is results and facts. You can run your mouth all you want about what you think is right and what you do, whatever. All right? What we just heard. Autoimmune is a theory concocted in the 1940s and 1950s. The very bugs that cause every virus are raised on eggs in labs. And somehow, mysteriously, these bugs made their way into society. And now you got what we call viruses, plagues, pandemics. All right? Foodborne, though, huh? That's the crazy part. All right, so I just put that in the chat right there. So all praise the Lord. Now, good to see y'all in the building. Bless up. All praise to the Ancient of Days, the Heavenly Father. Forever live his anointed beloved Son in the hearts and minds of the faithful elect. Honor and humility. MINISTRIES, Ministry Sect of the Nazarenes. Y'all see what it is. Nazarene edition, part 30. The Folly and Sin of the Heathen Gods, part 2. We went over part 1 2 days ago, Wednesday. So y'all go check that part 1 out. I'm gonna do a smaller recap, and then we're gonna get into it. We've been going into the first century journals of Shimon Kefa, Simon Peter, one of the top apostles of the Holy Messiah. He has writings out here, or a journal out here called the Clementine Homilies. Also Nazarene, actually the apostles. Basically the same writings, a few missing writings that the Nazarene Acts picks up on. First century documentation, though. All right. Now you ask yourself why this ain't in your authorized, standardized Bible. All right. All right. So what we're going into is how the Clementine homilies is curriculum. All right. Regardless of the scribes, regardless of the priests, regardless of the Pharisees, Sadducees, regardless of whoever was against Messiah, he still left a blueprint on how to properly defend his teachings. So anyone claiming they following Mashiach must know how to defend his teachings. All right. Other than that, you hurt yourself out there. So we're gonna go on to homily. We was in homilies 4 on Wednesday. We're going into the end of the homilies 4 into the homily 5. We're gonna get through with that. All right. And this is very, very important. You need to know how to defend the Messiah's teachings. All right. The Messiah did not teach like everybody else. If he did, they wouldn't have killed him. Teachings were totally different. And he even told the men that were the religious authority of his day that their father was Satan. Now you got to ask yourself, like, hold on, what do you mean? They got the same law, they got the same Torah, they got the same prophets, they got the same feast days, they got the same temples, they got the same sacrifices, and having the same. So you mean to tell me having the same customs and culture, that somebody could be serving the Almighty and somebody can be serving Satan, even with the same information? Yeah, and if it was possible then, y'all, it's definitely possible now. It's definitely possible now. All right, so we got to be careful on how we speak about the Most High. All right, there are people out there that believe that Most High creates evil and does evil. And to be fair, they read it in the Bible. You understand? But you're charging the Almighty for creating evil and doing evil. So in essence, when somebody attempts to mimic the evil attributes of who you call God, you understand, then you could blame God for acting like that, because after all, your God does it, right? Why do you think ancient Rome and ancient Greece were known for their lewdness and their nudeness? Known for their debauchery, known for their treachery. Think about it. They were mimicking their gods, because in the stories of all their gods, there are stories of, and these are their so-called gods they revere. There are stories of adultery, all types of fornication, incest, bestiality, homosexuality, murder. I mean, everything, you name it. Child sacrifice, child killing. You understand? Dishonoring parents. Like everything that the Most High is against, the gods of the other nations have in their stories. It's like it's in there. All right? And not just the so-called, quote-unquote, melanin deficient nations. Not just the so-called, quote-unquote, white nations. Right? When you're dealing with ancient Kemet, they're gods. Go read about what what's his name? Horus' uncle. His uncle Set did to him and violated him. Go read about the sexual perversion, eating seed off lettuce. All right, so again, we dare not ascribe wickedness to the Creator of heaven and earth. We ought not do that. All right, and when the Messiah, when it came down to wickedness, the Messiah pointed wickedness back to the author of wickedness and evil, and he did not name the Most High, and he named Satan. So he's the father of lies, and he abode not in the truth. When he speak of a lie, speak of his own. He was a murderer from the beginning. He didn't put evil on his father. He put evil on Satan. That's who evil belonged to. All right. So again, you must be teaching the Torah through the lens of the Holy Spirit, which was given to the disciples by the Messiah. All right. These men had the fiery tongues put on them. Shouldn't we hear what they have to say? One of the chosen apostles is Simon Peter, K5, if y'all don't know, the Clementine homilies. And look, they write, the Clementine homilies is right on Amazon. So a few dollars. All right. That and the Nazarene Acts of the Apostles. Let me post it for y'all, just in case anybody ain't got it. You need these. All right. And these are Peter's journals. Detailed debates, detailed records of his debates with Simon the magician. You need to know that if you call yourself defending the testimony of Messiah. All right. You need to know that. Very, very detailed, precise records. Nazarene Acts of the Apostles. On Amazon. Yeah, I've checked it out. Yeah, I know, right? Yuck, nasty, ew. Yeah, but their gods do that. So if your God is responsible for evil, eventually you're going to try to mimic your God and do wickedness. All right. So enough of that. We about to go ahead and jump into this. All right. All praise. Ari, I said I have my books. I just finished reading the Gospel of the Nazarene. Revolutionary. The Gospel of Nazarene is very, very revolutionary. Very, 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 very revolutionary. You understand? Yeah. Yeah, very revolutionary. And it's going to challenge you to be better. It's going to challenge you to live in harmony with the Most High's creation. It's going to challenge you to stop chewing on the dead flesh of animals. It's going to challenge you. I'm talking about challenge you to walk as a divine son or daughter of the Most High. All right? And just what it is. You understand? The level up, we read where in the last days, knowledge is going to be increased. Knowledge is increasing. Knowledge is definitely increasing in these last days. Right? And you either with it or you not. If you're not, we can't get mad at you. I know I'm not. I ain't mad at you at all. Right? Because I can't punk nobody or force nobody to see what I see. You either see it or you don't. If it don't resonate with your spirit, don't rock with it. All right. All you can do is stay true to yourself. All you can do is stay true to yourself. All right. Once you start going against what you know to be the truth, you understand? That's when you sinning. You're sinning at that point. All right. But ask yourself, how many of you heard the truth? You understand that, okay, yeah, that's a little different than what I thought was real, but it makes sense. It's challenging me, and you still decide to ignore it. There's a grievous punishment coming for that. There's a harsh punishment, should I say, coming for that, for those who refuse to hear his voice. You understand? Because what social status? You afraid to lose? What, money, friends, family? You afraid to lose? I thought we supposed to fear the Almighty. So woe to anybody that heard what we saying, but still, for the sake of, not sitting in the hot seat and not taking fire, which to me is nothing. I'm like, whatever. Because what nobody got to say, I said what I said. But if you're afraid to stand for what the Most High is revealing to you, he's convicting you, and he's showing you by so many different witnesses. People don't even know each other, saying the same thing to you, convicting you in your spirit, convicting you in your dreams. And when it comes down for you to take a stand for what you know is right, for what you know he's convicting you to speak and say and live like, you cower down for what? For the sake of what? What you saying? A social status, what? Fame, what? Money? Right? I thought the word says you should know the truth, and the truth shall what? Make you free, right? Well, if you're afraid to speak truth and live truth, you don't deserve to be free. You deserve to be a slave. Over here enslaved to what men think and other men's thoughts, and enslaved to your camps and your congregations and your decrepit breakdowns and your elders and all that, because you've been given so much, a certain amount of rank within your organization and all that. Messiah taught against. the established religious authority. And at times he even spoke directly against and gave a different judgment than what they had written down in their Torah. You heard it's been said this, but I say this. Yeah, he's given a different judgment than what the people received as the truth at the hands of the so-called religious leaders. All right. So my question is, will you stand? Will you stand when the Almighty speak to you and convict you to speak, and say, and live a certain way, even though you understand it's not the most popular thing to do, even though it's contrary to what everybody received as the truth that's written down. The Messiah did it. His understanding of what was written down was totally different than what they received as the truth in that day. I mean, at times he's given a totally different judgment than what's written down. Yeah, Moses said that, but I say this. And in the beginning, it wasn't so. You see? All right, Abraham heard the Most High's voice. He didn't read that, wasn't nothing written down. He heard his voice, had to make a move. Noah, he didn't read nothing, wasn't nothing written down. What did he do? Heard his voice, make a move. Messiah heard his voice, made a move. Peter, who do men say I am? Some say this, some say that. Who you say I am? Oh, you Mashiach, son of the living God. Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father which is in heaven. Meaning Peter didn't have to read nothing. It was a spiritual discernment, a spiritual conviction. Heard his voice, made a move. My sheep hear my who? Yeah, voice. Will you hear his voice? Will you hear his voice? All right? And when you hear his voice, when he convicts you to stop eating this and live like this and stop doing this and do this, that's what we got to get back to listening to his voice. Because majority of the time, like somebody may ask you, hey, what you think about this? Do y'all realize when people ask you that, they already had their answer? They just want to know if you're going to second witness their lust. That's it. They already be having their answer for what it is, because the Spirit of the Most High convicts those that claim they follow him. You already be knowing what you need to do. The totality of the new covenant is that no man should teach you. You know what I mean? That no man should teach you. That's the truth. Like, you don't need me to get on here and teach you about not stealing, not killing, about not committing adultery, not bearing false witness. Remember the Shabbat day. Who need to teach you that? Who need to teach you that when you see somebody that's down and out and you just went by the store to buy some food and you pull up at the stoplight and there's somebody on the side saying we'll work for food or need some food? Who need to teach you to listen to the voice of the Most High to say, go up in that bag and get them what you just bought? When you just bought some bowls and some wraps and all, they get one of them wraps. Man, hungry. Who need to teach you to listen to the voice of the Almighty is what I'm asking. Nobody. We just got wise at rejecting his voice, not listening, acting like we don't hear it. Don't nobody need to teach you nothing. You know. Every sodomite I done talked to in my life. Every last one. I ask them, you know this wrong, don't you? No, they look at me and look around and make sure ain't nobody looking. I said, yeah, I know it's wrong. I know you know it's wrong. Nobody had to tell you it's wrong. You knew it was wrong from the moment you start entertaining that wickedness. Yeah, I know it's wrong, bro. Yes, I know it's wrong. Yeah, I know. Don't nobody need to teach none of you brothers and sisters at all. You know what you need to be doing. Stop being stubborn and bullheaded and listen to the voice of the Almighty. Because when he speaks to you, he may not speak to the next brother or sister. You know what you're supposed to be doing. That's what we've been teaching on It's China. Get back to it. Yeah, we all get together. We're not looking for students. Brothers and sisters, we can get together and glean off one another. You understand? Because I the most High deal with you, don't deal with me. So you can always glean and take jewels and wisdom from a conversation, and then take that and apply that to your life to manifest righteous change within your life. Heal these families, man. Now you build the Israelite nation, all the families broke, destroyed, broke. Come on, you building something. What are you building? How? All the families in Israel broke. And I ain't talking about money. I'm just talking about broken emotionally, physically, mentally. Families are broken. What nation you build? A nation is a whole bunch of families. What nations you build? All right. So come up out of the cult mindset. Come up out of the madness. Come up out of the bondage. You've been freed. The Son of the Most High shall make you free. You shall be free indeed. Well, claim your freedom. But in order to claim your freedom, y'all, you got to be about truth. All right. And a lot of things the Most High deal with you ain't going to find written verbatim. You're going to find it written verbatim. You see? Because men are used that to loophole out of what they know they're supposed to be doing. It don't say thou shalt not drinketh bleach, Ak. Well, I can drink bleach. That's a dangerous mindset. Because you all know that's wrong for you. It's harmful for you. It'll kill you. You understand? So look, love y'all indeed in truth, right? So let's get into some of this. We're going to go on to page 99 of the homilies, Clementine homilies. Let me share my screen real quick. And let's read through some of this, and then we're going to read into homily 5. We're going over the folly and the sin of the heathen gods. All right. Straight up. And the gods of the nations, whether it was Rome, whether it was Greece, whether it was Egypt, Kemet, whether it was Babylonian, read them stories of them gods, you'll see, you be like, whoa. All right. So the men who pay reference, or women who pay reference to these so-called gods, they know we done read the stories. All them stories. Did you read that? About seeded lettuce? About Horus' uncle Set and what he did to his rectum? Oh, brother, those are allegories. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So look, man, we better than that. You understand? Like, what's real. You know what's true. Stay solid and true to yourself. All right. And whatever you're going through in life, glean from it. Take this. Everything is a lesson. Everything is a lesson. You should be able to take something from what you're reading, Bible, you understand, homilies, whatever you read, you should be able to take it and apply the righteous principles to your life to affect righteous change. If you can't do that, you just reading something. That's all you doing. Memorizing a whole bunch of something, but you can't manifest. You ain't manifesting, y'all. What are we doing then? Ain't the truth. It's the streets. Just no more Bible than the average cat. When it's the streets, look at the fruit and look at the actions. Look at what is it. Look at what it is. All right, well, let's get into it. Love y'all indeed in truth, peace, love, light, healing, and balance. Israel's missing the balance. Balance to the nation, man. Balance to the hopeful elect. All right. Shalom to all the Nazarenes and the saints. Hey, shalom to all the haters. Shout out to all the haters, jaw jackers, and naysayers. We love y'all too. Peace, love, light, healing, and balance. All right. So let's get it done. Good to see y'all in the building. Hey, look, I'm just going to say shalom to everybody. You understand? Because there's so many of y'all in the chat. Bless up. Good to see y'all. All right. All right, let's get it done. Let me share this real quick. All right. Sometimes I get it going. All right. Let's get into this real quick. All right. Let's get into this. All right. We're going to go into the homilies. Again, the homilies is Peter's journals. All right. This is part 2 of the folly and the sin of the heathen gods. All right. This is part 2. We did part 1 on Wednesday. Y'all go back and check that out. We're going over to page 99. All right. And this is Clement himself. Now, for y'all, Clement was actually a natural Gentile, all right, who had to go through the Nazarene initiation. He was initiated by Simon Peter, the Messiah's disciple. All right, Clement wasn't just a regular Roman; he actually was related to the royal family. All right, so if anybody had any knowledge of how the gods of Greece and Rome acted and maneuvered, it would be him. All right, so for the fact that he forsook all that, I mean, riches, prestige, eminence, all right, getting pampered with the finest silks from the Far East, you know, having the most expensive whores throw grapes down his throats, you understand? Silken garments, and for him to forsake all that and say, the hell with these gods, and, you know, even my family that raised me on that madness. And say, you know what, I'm going to follow this poor preacher, this poor righteous preacher named Peter. You know what I mean? This black Jew, this Hebrew, this barbarian, the Romans would call us, named Peter, who walked with this man who was crucified in Palestine not that many years ago. To forsake all that, you understand, and follow, then, you know, that's a great sacrifice. But that also means he really believed, because he gained nothing materially or worldly by doing this. You understand? He gained nothing by doing this. All right. When I say nothing, I mean on a material level. All right. Yeah, that's right. Philippians 4:3. Clement was mentioned by Paul. Absolutely. Absolutely. Proving he was around, huh? All right. So we right here on page 99 of the Clementine Homilies, Nazarene Acts of the Apostles. Clementine Homilies. All right. And homily 4, we in chapter 23. Title is, Whither Shall I Go from Your Presence? When I had thus spoken, this is Clement speaking. When I had thus spoken, Apion broke in upon my discourse. What, said he? Do not the laws of the Greeks also forbid wickedness and punish adulterers? And then said I, then the gods of the Greeks who acted contrary to the laws deserve punishment. Clement comes right back. Say, well, look, if we got laws that forbid wickedness and punish adulterers, then the very gods y'all worship need to be punished then. You see, like, wasn't playing games with it. And Apion, if you look in the back of Josephus, and y'all got the complete works of Flavius Josephus, Yehuda ben Matthias, the Hebrew Israelite historian. All right, his works are still studied in all the theological seminary schools. They know about Flavius Josephus, man. He was, you know. But anyway, regardless of what he was, or if he was a sellout or not, in the back of his complete works, he has a discourse against Apion. This is the same Apion. All right. Clement was banging with him a little taste, because Clement was very well acquainted with him. So that makes sense, though. And y'all dealing with this Nazarene way of life, this Nazarene faith is not hard. It's real basic. It's not hard to debunk any naysayer. All right. Because Clement is letting Apion know, like, look, your gods are wicked according to your own stories. Apion doubled back, but we got laws that punish wickedness, forbid wickedness, and punish adulterers. How does Clement respond? Then the gods of the Greeks who acted contrary to the laws deserve punishment. All right. The Greeks and the Romans serve the same gods, just under different names. All right. That makes sense. Y'all remember that. All right. Especially you coming against a Kemetic, cat, a Babylonian, Egyptian, Greek, whoever. All right. And you read their stories and you're like, hey, what up, Jack? What's wrong with you? Your gods that you pay reference to are like they're lewd and nude. All right. They gonna come and say, well, hold on, the laws of ancient Kemet and Hotep and all that says this. Right? Your response should be, then those gods who acted contrary to the laws deserve punishment, right? But how shall I be able to restrain myself if I suppose that the gods themselves first practiced all wickedness as well as adultery and did not suffer punishment? That's a good question. Your gods deserve punishment based off the laws that man has enacted. But then Clement said, well, how could anybody restrain themselves? If I suppose that the gods themselves first practiced all wickedness and did not suffer punishment. If you reference these very gods who are the originators of this wickedness, and they never received punishment for that wickedness, how would you restrain yourself from committing wickedness? The very ones you reverence do it. Very ones you reverence do it. It's almost like you growing up and you see somebody you look up to, you know, doing what's evil. Eventually, guess what? You're going to do it because you see someone that you look up to doing it. All right? It's an endless cycle. All right? So he says, and did not suffer punishment, whereas they ought to rather to have suffered as not being slaves to lust. But if they were subject to it, how were they gods? This is what Clement asking. If the gods are subject to everything that man is subject to, how are they God? How are you reverencing them? Then Apion said, let us have in our eye not the gods, but the judges, and looking to them, we shall be afraid to sin. Then I said, this is not fitting, O Apion, for he who has his eye upon men will dare to sin in the hope of escaping detection. But he who sets before his soul the all-seeing God, knowing that he cannot escape his notice, will refrain from sinning, even in secret. Apion like, well, don't worry about the gods. Well, the judge is the one that punished me. And he like, look, dealing with men, there's always a technicality. Technically, and you know, people beat trial all the time that did evil stuff. People beat trial on a technicality all the time. So Clement like, nah, Apion, you ain't getting away with that either. All right? But if you got your eye on the all-seeing God, you know you ain't going to escape his notice. And being that you know his eyes are in every place, beholding the good and the evil, guess what you're going to do? You're going to check yourself. Because everything you do, you know your creator is watching and taking note. All right? Next chapter, allegory. Homily 4, chapter 24, page 100. Allegory. Y'all get some understanding? Give me a Yahoo up in the chat. Give me a Yahoo up in the chat if y'all getting some understanding. I got a Facebook message from my sister. All right. I'll get back with you, sis, if you're listening. That's right. That's right. Much love. All right. Just want to make sure everybody getting some understanding. All right. All praise. All praise. Allegory. When Apion heard this, he said, I knew ever since I heard that you were consorting with Yahudim, Jews, Israelites, basically, that you had alienated your judgment. What has been well said by someone, evil communications corrupt good manners. Then said I, therefore good communications correct evil manners. See? When I was saying that this Nazarene understanding is real basic, you can overthrow the mind of a naysayer with common sense. If evil speech or evil communication corrupt good manners, then good communications correct evil manners. Make sense? It should make sense. And Apion said, today I'm fully satisfied to have learned your position. Therefore, I permitted you to speak first. But tomorrow in this place, if it is agreeable to you, I will show in the presence of these friends when they meet that our gods are neither adulterers, nor murderers, nor corrupters of children, nor guilty of incest with sisters or daughters, but the ancients. Look at this. This is his excuse. And this is going to be everybody's excuse that reference these other gods of these other nations. When they notice you've read their stories, because all the stories are wicked. When it comes to morality, it's wicked. It's very wicked. All right? A lot of the stories of those guys are sexually immoral. And we dare not think that same evil about our creator, our maker. All right? I don't care where it's written at. All right? But the ancients, wishing that only lovers of learning should know the mysteries, veiled them or covered them with those fables which you have spoken. He's saying that, the ancients, the people who actually wrote the stories about the gods, covered the true meaning of it. Trip off that, y'all. Covered the true meaning of the gods with wicked stories. That don't even make sense. For they speak physiologically of boiling substance under the name of Zen, and of time under that of Chronos, and of the ever-flowing nature of water under that of Rhea. However, as I have promised, I shall tomorrow exhibit the truth of things, explaining them one by one to you. When you come together in the morning, in reply to this, I said, tomorrow as you have promised, so do. But now here's something in opposition to what you are going to say. Chapter 25. This is cold right here. All right, this is cold. Now, this is Clement responding. Apion saying, oh, that's all allegory. Those who wrote the stories veiled those stories, to cover up the real meaning of the gods or the true nature of the gods. So the more I'm going to prove that the gods that we serve, whether it's the Roman gods, Greek gods, Babylonian, ancient Sumeria, Kemet, all them little gods, I'm going to prove all those are allegories. What the Negro that's on trial now, Polite, he used to say, these are all anthropomorphisms. Anthropomorphisms. Allegories, huh? Wow. Seeded lettuce. Yeah, the god Bess. What about the poor Lahorus? Y'all got the nerve to claim that's Messiah. Poor Lahorus. What his Uncle Set did to him. These are all anthropomorphisms. Allegories. If the doings, now trip off this. This is where Clement responds to all this so-called allegorical talk these men saying. If the doings of the gods, being good, have been veiled or covered with evil fables, the wickedness of him who wove the veil is shown to have been great, because he concealed righteous things, noble things with evil narratives, evil stories, that no one imitate them. Facts. Anybody come to you and try to tell you that the gods, the stories that you're reading about their gods, all them just allegories. He say, well, look, if the doings of the gods being good have been covered with evil stories, the wickedness of him who wrote that story is great, because he covered up righteous things with evil stories that no one can imitate them. Nobody can imitate a righteous God if you're reading about evil attributes to that God. How would you imitate? And that should be every last one of our responses. Oh, the allegories, huh? Well, who covers righteousness? Who covers righteousness with evil stories? By doing that, no one can ever imitate the righteousness and strive to be like your gods. All right, if y'all understand that, give me an 8 up in the chat. Y'all know I ain't trying to lose nobody. You see how real simple it is to rebut that? It's real simple. It's real simple. Your response should be, well, why cover up righteousness with wicked stories? By covering up righteousness with wicked stories, no one who reads the stories can imitate the righteousness of the God that they're reading about. That's simple. That makes sense. And whoever wrote that story is of a greater sin than the very gods we're reading about. Simple. But if they really did things impious or wickedly, they ought, on the contrary, to have veiled or covered them with good stories. Exactly. Don't you think, like, hold on. Like, all right, if you really wanted to cover something up, wouldn't you cover up wickedness? Who covers up righteousness? Who covers up what's right? I thought the thing was to cover up what you do that's evil. Cover your shame. But if they really did things wickedly, they ought, on the contrary, they have veiled them with good narratives, lest men regarding them as their superiors should set about sinning in like manner. As I spoke thus, those present were evidently beginning to be well disposed towards the words spoken by me, for they repeatedly and earnestly asked me to come on the following day and departed. Right now, we in homily 5. All right, now we in homily 5. Now look, you remember old boy, little Slick Willie said he was coming the next day, didn't he? Look at what the top of the page says. Apion does not appear. I bet he did. I bet he did. Y'all, a lot of people ain't about none of that. People that be talking. But when you call somebody to the mat and they don't show face, then that's just what it is, y'all. It's just talk. It's just talk. We called men to the mat. I called you outside. You snuck out back, went home and made a video. You wait till you got home and start running your mouth. You ain't meet me outside though to catch this fade. In the world, you're known as a coward. All right. Clement called Apion out. Apion agreed to meet him the next day. Look what happened. He don't even show face. Apion does not appear. Chapter 1, homily 5, page, I believe it's 101. All right. The next day, therefore, in Tyre, as we had agreed, I came to the quiet place, and there I found the rest with some others also. Then I saluted them. But as I did not see Apion, I asked the reason of his not being present. And someone said that he had been unwell ever since last evening. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Really, out of spiritual warfare. You sick, huh? Then when I said that it was reasonable that we should immediately set out to visit him. So Clement like, all right, well, let's go check on him then. Almost all begged me first to discourse to them, and that then we could go see him. We could go to see him. Therefore, as all were of one opinion, I proceeded to say, look, Clement ready to go track him down. Let's go run down on him then. Let's go run down on him. No, stay here and speak. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, Clement's precious knowledge of Apion. Yesterday when I left this, old friends, I confess that through much anxiety about the discussion that was to take place with Apion, I was not able to get any sleep. And while I was unable to sleep, I remembered a trick that I played upon him in Rome. It was this. From my boyhood, Clement was a lover of truth and a seeker of the things that are profitable for the soul, and spending my time in raising and refuting theories, but being unable to find anything perfect through distress of mind, I fell sick. Meaning Clement was searching for the truth so hardcore, he made himself sick. Couldn't focus, couldn't do anything. He wanted to know what was truth, absolute truth. And while I was confined to bed, Apion came to Rome, and being my father's friend, he lodged with me. And hearing that I was in bed, he came to me as being not unacquainted with medicine, and inquired the cause of my being in bed. But I, being aware that the man exceedingly hated the Yahudim, the Israelites, as also that he had written many books against them, and that he had formed a friendship, a friendship with this Simon. Y'all, Simon is Simon Magus. We on page 102. With this Simon. Right on, son. Appreciate it. With this Simon, not through desire of learning, but because he knew that he was a Samaritan and a hater of Yahudim, and that he had come forth in opposition to the Yahudim. Therefore, he had formed an alliance with him, that he might learn something from him against the Israelites, against the Jews, against the Yahudim. You see this? Apion got cool with Peter's main enemy, Simon Magus. Magus meaning the magician, the sorcerer. He got cool with him because he knew, he hate who I hate. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You understand? That theory or that type of knowledge goes way back, y'all. All right, so this was Clement's trick. Clement is telling them how he tricked Apion as a boy in his youth. So he's very acquainted with him. He knows him. All right. Now look at this. Malaki. Yeah, we ain't ducking that. Clement's trick. I had known this before concerning Apion. As soon as he asked me the cause of my sickness, answered faintly that I was suffering and distressed in my mind after the manner of young men. And to this he said, my son, speak freely as to a father. What is your soul's ailment? And when I again groaned faintly, as being ashamed to speak of love, by means of silence and down looking, I conveyed the impression of what I wished to imitate. But he, being persuaded that I was in love with a woman, said, there is nothing in life which does not admit of help. For indeed I myself, when I was young, being in love with a most accomplished woman, not only thought it impossible to obtain her, but did not even hope ever to address her. And yet having fallen in with a certain Egyptian who was exceedingly well versed in magic, look at this, and having become his friend, I disclosed to him my love, and not only did he assist me in all that I wished, but honoring me more bountifully, he hesitated not to teach me an incantation by means of which I obtained her. And as soon as I had obtained her, by means of his secret instruction, being persuaded by the liberality of my teacher, I was cured of love. Witchcraft. Witchcraft. So Apion is thinking that Clement is sick because he's wounded in his soul about the love or the lust that he has for a woman that he can't have. You see? So Apion says, look, when I was around your age back in the day, I went to a sorcerer, a diviner, a magician, right? And he taught him an incantation, right? A spell, right? So look, I know a lot of us think this is not real, right? Let me show y'all what's going on today. Show y'all what's going on today. We come back to this right here. We in chapter 4, homily 5. Watch this. And this ain't even long. I want to show y'all this. Shout out to my aunt Nehemiah. He showed me this not that long ago. Blew my mind. I say, wow, this is serious. This is going down, huh? Spell casting. And so what Clement is letting be known is that, look, Apion is a warlock. He in the incantations and all that. Hold on, y'all. What's going on, man? Okay. Dude, a straight witch. He a warlock. Let me show y'all something real quick. Let me stop the screen. Let me show y'all something. Same thing going on today. Right. Ariat. He conveyed the impression of what he wished to imitate. Exactly. Now watch this. I want to show y'all something. Let me go over here. Show you how real this gets. Everybody think this stuff a game. Look, that's why again, y'all, you gotta be careful. All right, you are not to be in table fellowship with everybody. No, you're not. All right, the only way this spell or incantation can work is if you in table fellowship with everybody. Everything goes. No, it don't. All right. the Nazarene and the Singh brothers was very, very particular about who they fellowshipped and broke bread with. Remember that. All right. Real thing this. So he showed him an incantation, right? Let me show y'all something. Out to my knee. If you're listening, bless your hands, my brother. Bless your hands. All right. Let me show y'all something. Bear with me 1 second. Time to bring it out. Time to bring it out. Because everybody think we be playing around here. Ain't nobody playing no game. Now look at this. All right, let me hit the share screen. Blot out. Share that real quick. Right back to what we was going over. Share screen. Green. Y'all look at this. Some of y'all done seen this already.
A lot of people that's not gonna want me to tell y'all. It's gonna be a lot of people that's not gonna want me to tell y'all, you know, that I'm gonna tell y'all now. Men, you need to watch who you fucking with. I'm in a whole lot of witch, oracle, empress, black women coming into the craft type groups. It is hundreds. I have seen hundreds of pictures of you dudes. Do you understand me? That these women is putting inside of these groups, and on full moons and on new moons, they straight up casting full flat out spells on y'all because y'all out here being dirty. Look, black man, tell that woman if you fucking around with somebody else, like they straight up fucking y'all lives up, and y'all think it's some invisible God out here making you have car accidents, making you be being stuck to a woman, and you can't never let her go, and you can't never get away from her because she didn't put blood in your motherfucking food. She got your picture in the middle of a group with hundreds of other little young ass witches that ain't got no guidance, that ain't got no type of structure and discipline over them, and they just casting. You got 30 to 100 motherfucking women, y'all, sitting here saying, drive him into hell. May he pay for what it is that he did to her. Even if you just made a simple ass mistake, you know what I'm saying? You done pissed her off today. When you out here dating these women, you need to ask them what the fuck they believe in. I don't care. Just because she a Christian do not mean that she is not playing around with her witch friends in blood magic, the power of blood. Do you understand? Black women don't believe that motherfucking Jesus Christ shit. We know what the fuck our blood do. We have always known. I'm telling you, black men, watch who you fucking with. Almost every black woman know that if she want a man to put blood in his motherfucking spaghetti, put that shit in his motherfucking tea, whatever, they out here doing it, and I'm watching them. Black men, y'all better watch y'all motherfucking selves and start getting y'all life right. Quit playing with these women out here. They sinking y'all. All y'all asses either locked up, y'all in some fucked up shit out here. The future of the black man, these young black men, it's not fucking looking good. Like, y'all need to get into y'all wisdom, into y'all own motherfucking knowledge, and find out who you are, find out who your ancestors are. Y'all out here fighting against shit y'all don't even know y'all fighting against. Like, this shit powerful as hell. Watch yourselves. Watch who y'all date. Check your motherfucking food. Check your teeth. Check your motherfucking toothbrush. Don't let no motherfucking body get no hair. Hey, y'all better protect yourself. That's as much as I can tell you without going into other shit. Fucking save yourself.
Well, there it is. Oh-wee. There it is. Huh? Oh, I know. So, and that's in 2021. We reading about what was going on 2,000 years ago. All right, so let's get back to it. All right. Yeah, it's witches outside, witches and warlocks. All right. And we come against them every chance we get. We ask the Most High to unsheathe his sword and cut them all down. Be hostile toward every ruler of darkness. The power, name, and authority, Yahushua Mashayah. Yeah, we pray against witches over here. We pray against every spell and curse sent against us. We cut it down and commanded the boomerang back to whoever sent it. And we unleash the fire of the Ruach after every last bit of it. All right? So, let's get back into it. And we all heard about blood in the spaghetti before. Come on, man. This ain't nothing new. Let's get back to it. All right? Let's get back to it. All right. But all right, here we go. Right here. All right. We in chapter 4, homily 5. Apion's undertaking. All right. All right. Now look at this. It says, whence if you also suffer any such thing after the manner of men, use freedom with me, with all security. For within 7 days I shall put you fully in possession of her. Wow. When I heard this, looking at the object I had in view, I said, pardon me that I do not altogether believe in the existence of magic. This is what Clement. See, Apion is assuming Clement is in love. His soul is wounded with the love or the lust of a woman that he can't have. And Apion say, look, give me a week, you'll have her. So now Clement, because remember, he's acting. He tricked him. So Clement says, pardon me that I do not altogether believe in the existence of magic. For I have already tried many who have made many promises and have deceived me. However, your undertaking influences me and leads me to hope. Now look at this. But when I think of the matter, I am afraid that the demons are sometimes not subject to the magicians with respect to the things that are commanded them. So what Clement is telling Apion, look, you playing with demons, boy. What that woman just say? This stuff powerful as who? Powerful as hell. So that's why, we're spiritual, but we're spirit under the Most High Spirit. And walking in His Spirit, we got authority over the entire kingdom of darkness. And it's like that for any warlock or witch that come around us. Yeah. Yeah, you're not dealing with some Negroes that's going to walk on eggshells and needles. No, we're going to come against you. We're going to attack you. You understand? You think you be up late hours at night. We be up all hours of the day, of the night, binding up forces, canceling every plot, plan, and scheme of the adversary. Commanding these curses to boomerang back to whomever sent it. Asking the Most High to send forth His lightning and arrows, scatter these devils. Be hostile toward all your enemies. Assign every angel of war to be hostile toward their house. Send chaos into the camp of Satan. Yeah. All right, so Clement, like, look, from what I've experienced, the demons are not always in subjection to the one who claimed that he's a magician. Theory of Magic, chapter 5. Then Apion said, admit that I know more of these things than you do. However, that you may not think that there is nothing in what you have heard from me in reference to what you have said, I will tell you how the demons are under necessity to obey the magicians in the matters about which they are commanded. For as it is impossible for a soldier to contradict his general, and impossible for the generals themselves to disobey the king, for if anyone oppose those set over him, he is altogether deserving of punishment. So it is impossible for the demons not to serve the angels who are their generals. And when they are adjured by them, they yield trembling. Well, knowing that if they disobey, they shall be fully punished. But the angels also themselves being adjured by the magicians in the name of their ruler obeyed, lest being found guilty of disobedience, they be destroyed. For unless all things that are living and rational foresaw vengeance from the ruler, confusion would ensue, all revolting against one another. So Apion like, no, the demons that, are around for those who claim they practice magician are in subjection to the magician. That's basically what he's saying, right? Chapter 6, homily 5. Clement responds, then said I, are those things correct then which are spoken by poets and philosophers, that in Hades or hell, the souls of the wicked are judged and punished for their attempts, such as those of Ixion and Tantalus and Tydeus and Sisyphus and the daughters of Danaus, and as many others as have been impious heard? And how if these things are not so, is it possible that magic can subsist? Y'all see what he's saying? Like, yeah, okay, well, if the so-called demons are in subjection to the magician, then who gets punished in what the Greeks call, or what the poets call, Hades? Who's being punished? Look at this. It says, are those things correct then, which are spoken by poets and philosophers? Because again, Apion's position is what? That the demons are in subjection to the magician. So he doubles right back. Clement doubles back and say, what? So I guess what the poets and philosophers are speaking, the Greek and Roman poets and philosophers, I guess that's a lie too then. Are those things correct then, which are spoken by poets and philosophers, that in Hades, the souls of the wicked are judged and punished for their attempts? Because if that is true, then that would mean that the magician does not have the authority over the demons. The demons have authority over the magician, because who gets punished in Hades? Look at this. That in Hades, the souls of the wicked are judged and punished for their attempts, such as those of Ixion and Tantalus, Tydeus and Sisyphus, and the daughters of Danaus, and as many others as have been wicked heard. And how if these things are not so, is it possible that magic can subsist? Then he, having told me that these things are so in Hades, I asked him, why are not we ourselves afraid of magic? If we are going to be punished in what the Greeks and Romans called Hades for dealing with this, shouldn't we be afraid of it? Why are not we ourselves afraid of magic, being persuaded of the punishment in Hades for adultery? Wow. For I do not admit that it is a righteous thing to compel to adultery a woman who is unwilling. Because again, that's what Apion was doing. He basically was teaching incantations to get a married woman. He said, you're having your possession in 7 days. He said, why are not we ourselves afraid of magic, being persuaded of the punishment in Hades for adultery? We should stay away from the magic. We should stay away from the spells and the incantations, because the spell and the incantations are sent out to seduce a woman that has a husband. And we're going to be punished for that. So he said, for I do not admit that it is a righteous thing to compel to adultery a woman who is unwilling. But if anyone will engage to persuade her, I am ready for that, besides confessing my thanks. Oh, wait. Hold on, y'all. It's still heating up. Still heating up. Homily 5, chapter 7. Homily 5, chapter 7. Heating up in this deal. The urban Israelite says, there is witches in Israel today wearing fringes and wrapping their head in this witchery also. I ain't telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know 100%. Yeah, I know. I preaching to the choir. Absolutely. That's absolutely true. Witches and warlocks. All right. Now, Amma says true. I met a few at a camp my family and I went to. Wow. A distinction with a difference. Then Apion said, do you not think it is the same thing, whether you obtain her by magic or by deceiving her with words? Then said I, not altogether the same, for these differ widely from one another. For he who constrains an unwilling woman by the force of magic subjects himself to the most terrible punishment, as having plotted against a chaste woman. But he who persuades her with words and puts the choice in her own power and will does not force her. And I am of opinion that he who has persuaded a woman will not suffer so great punishment as he who has forced her. Wow. Basically forced her through magic, basically raped her by casting spells. Therefore, if you can persuade her, I shall be thankful to you when I have obtained her. But otherwise, I had rather die. Listen to what Clement's saying. But otherwise, I had rather die than force her against her will. And I go out for you Negroes who claim it's lawful rape in the Bible as well. Right? Clement said, I'd rather die than force a woman against her will. I feel him. I feel him. You got to be sadistic. You got to be diabolically evil to even get off or even be turned on. You understand? By something like that. All right. Then Apion, chapter 8, homily 5. Flattery of magic. Then Apion, being really puzzled, said, what am I to say to you? For at one time, as one perturbed with love, you pray to obtain her, and anon, and immediately, as if you loved her not. You make more account of your fear than your desire. And you think that if you can persuade her, you shall be blameless as without sin. But obtaining her by the power of magic, you will incur punishment. But do you not know that it is the end of every action that is judged? The fact that it has been committed and that no account is made of the means by which it has been effected. And if you commit adultery being enabled by magic, shall you be judged as having done it wickedly? And if by persuasion, shall you be absolved from sin in respect of the adultery? Then I said, on account of my love, there is a necessity for me to choose one or other of the means that are available to procure the object of my love. And I shall choose as far as possible to cajole her rather than to use magic. But neither is it easy to persuade her by flattery, for the woman is very much of a philosopher. A love letter, chapter 9. So Clement, like, look, I'm not down with the spells and the incantations and the magic. You understand? I'd rather use my words. Today they call it, boy got a mouthpiece on. The youngins say, shoot my shot. Back in the day, you used to call that game. Boy got game. All right. Clement said he'd rather spit game than, throw out some spells and some magic and some incantations. He said he'd rather die than do that. All right. Look at this. A love letter. Chapter 9. Then Apion said, I am all the more hopeful to be able. Top of page 105. All right. All the more hopeful to be able to persuade her as you wish, provided only we be able to converse with her. That said, is impossible. Then Apion asked if it were possible to send a letter to her. Then I said, that indeed may be done. Then Apion said, this very night I shall write a paper on encomiums of adultery. Hold on. This very night I shall write a paper on encomiums of adultery, which you shall get from me and dispatch to her. And I hope that she shall be persuaded and consent. Apion accordingly wrote the paper and gave it to me. And I thought of it this very night. And I remembered that fortunately I have it by me, along with other papers which I carry about with me. Having thus spoken, I showed the paper to those who were present and read it to them as they wished to hear it. And having read it, I said, this, O men, is the instruction of the Greeks, affording a bountiful license to sin without fear. The paper was as follows. Clement done tricked him. He done straight got this cat to write, to commit in writing what he would do to seduce a married woman to commit adultery. He finally gave him the letter, and guess what he did? He read it in front of everybody. This is what these cats is doing out here. This is what they doing out here. The love to the beloved one, anonymously. On account of the laws of foolish men, at the bidding of love, the firstborn of all salutation. I know that you are devoted to philosophy, and for the sake of virtue, you affect the life of the noble. But who are nobler than the gods among all? And philosophers among men. Y'all remember, this is API, someone who reveres the gods of the Greeks and the Romans, writing a love letter or a letter of adultery to a woman who already has a husband who he think Clement is in love with. And he decided to write the letter for Clement. Clement receives the letter. Clement receives the letter, right? Clement receives the letter, and Clement reads the letter in front of a crowd and say, look what these cats is up to. But who are nobler than the gods among all and the philosophers among men? For these alone know what works are good or evil by nature. Look what he's saying. But who are more nobler than the gods among all and the philosophers among men? The philosophers who write about the gods. For these alone know what works are good or evil by nature, and what not being so or accounted so by the imposition of laws. Now then, some have supposed that the action which is called adultery is evil, although it is in every respect good. Look at this. Look at this. The same cat who said to Clement in the last homily, hold on, man, we got laws to punish wickedness and adultery. He writing this letter to this woman who he think he writing it for Clement so Clement can seduce her to get her. Clement then tricked him to write down what he really believed about adultery. And he in here saying it is in every respect good, for it is by the punishment of Eros. For it is by the appointment, for it is by the appointment of Eros for the increase of life. Look at this. Yeah, you got to commit adultery. It's by the appointment of a God to increase life. Adultery is. Wow. For it's by the appointment of Eros for the increase of life. And Eros is the eldest of all gods. For without Eros, there can be no mingling or generation either of elements or gods or men or irrational animals or anything else. For we are all instruments of Eros. He by means of us is the fabricator of all that is begotten, the mind inhabiting our souls. Hence it is not when we ourselves wish it, but when we are ordered by him that we desire to do his will. But if while we desire according to his will, we attempt to restrain the desire. Look at this. Hence it is not when we ourselves wish it. Wish what? Wish adultery. But when we are ordered by him, they got a God that orders you to commit adultery for the sake of reproduction. And this heathen God name is Eros. But when we are ordered by him that we desire to do his will. But if while we desire, according to his will, we attempt to restrain the desire, meaning the temptation of adultery come in, and you like, I ain't doing that. Look at this. But if while we desire according to his will, we attempt to restrain the desire for the sake of what is called chastity, what do we do but the greatest wickedness? He's saying it's the greatest wickedness to resist adultery. When we oppose the oldest of all gods and men. Wow. Wow. Top of page 106. Y'all, because they're gods. I said it earlier. The reason ancient Greece and ancient Rome and ancient Kemet, the reason they were so lewd and nude, because these are the attributes that are ascribed to their gods. All right. If you understand that, give me a 3 up in the chat. All right, give me a 3 up in the chat. Oh, wait. That's right. That's right. Oh, wait. Chapter 11, homily 5. All uncleanness with greediness. But let all doors be open to him, and let all baneful and arbitrary laws be set aside. Look at this. Which have been ordained by fanatical men who, under the power of senselessness and not willing to understand what is reasonable, and moreover suspecting those who are called adulterers, or with good reason mocked with arbitrary laws by Zeus himself. Wow. Through Minos and Radam and thus. But there is no restraining of eros dwelling in our souls. For the passion of lovers is not voluntary. Therefore, Zeus himself, the giver of these laws, approached myriads of women. Look at this. And according to some wise men, he sometimes had intercourse with human beings as a benefactor for the production of children. But in the case of those to whom he knew that his being unknown would be a favor, he changed his form in order that he might neither grieve them nor seem to act in opposition to the laws given by himself. Zeus break the very laws that he supposed to give. It becomes you, therefore, who are debaters of philosophy for the sake of a good life, to imitate those who are acknowledged to be the nobler, who have had sexual intercourse 10,000 times off the mouth of someone who reveres these so-called gods. His name is Apion, and this is in a letter that he wrote to a woman that he thought Clement was in love with, so in love that he fell sick. So he wrote the letter for Clement. Clement said, I'm cool on the magic. Just if I can't get it with words, I don't want them. He said, well, I'll write the letter for you. And this is in his letter to this woman who is a married philosopher. Wow. So we're hearing about their gods, Eros, Zeus, and many more, right? And it says Zeus himself, the giver of these laws, approached myriads of women. Look at this. So, of course, if your gods are lewd and nude, yeah, that society gonna mimic that. But dealing with the God, the creator of heaven and earth, he's against sexual immorality. No one should be having sex outside the covenant, outside of marriage. No one. No one. You know, these men try to justify that they be arguing with their woman and try to go get a harlot. Nah. Y'all, that's heathen. That's whoredom. And a plague will break out amongst us if we allow that. A plague will break out. All right? Assembly will be destroyed if we allow that. There should be no sex being had outside of marriage. Period, point blank in the story. Well, wait, I know I offended somebody with that. Jupiter's amors. And not to spend the time to no purpose in giving more examples, I shall begin with mentioning some embraces of Zeus himself, the father of gods and men. For it is impossible to mention all on account of their multitude. Hear therefore the amours of this great Jupiter, which he concealed by changing his form on account of the fanaticism of senseless men. For, in the first place, wishing to show to wise men that adultery is no sin. Look at this. They straight like telling you that adultery is all good. For in the first place, wishing to show to wise men that adultery is no sin when he was going to marry, being, according to the multitude, knowingly an adulterer in his first marriage, but not being so in reality, by means, as I said, of a seeming sin, he accomplished a sinless marriage. Look at this. For he married his own sister. What? Hold on. Not just adultery, but incest, huh? Look at this. But not being so in reality, but by means, I said, of a seeming sin, he accomplished a sinless marriage. For he married his own sister, Hera. Wow. Assuming, look at this. Assuming the likeness of a cuckoo's wing. Cuckoo. Well, if y'all don't know the cuckoo, y'all, that's all that chicken these men throwing down their throats, calling it chicken and calling it lawful. The cuckoo. I don't care if we got 0.5% of it in there. But the Moran's cuckoo is what most of it, look, majority of the chickens in this earth is a cacao or cuckoo. That's unlawful according to the Leviticus 11. But that's a whole nother story. All right. It's a hybrid. Anyway, in the likeness of a cuckoo's wing, and of her were born Hebe, Alithia, for he gave birth to Midis without copulation with anyone. For he gave birth to Midis without copulation, without spilling seed, without planting seed with anyone, as did also Hera to Vulcan. Good night. What is going on here? Greek mythology, huh? Greek and Roman mythology. This cat married his sister. Not only was doing adultery tens of thousands of times, married his sister Hera, appeared in the form of a chicken wing. So that's flashes of bestiality in there. And of her were born Hebe and Alithia. And then he gave birth to Metis. This is Zeus or Jupiter. Without copulation, without the plant of seed. With anyone. As did also Hera the Vulcan. Jupiter's amours continued. His wickedness continued. Look at this. That's right. These are demons, fallen angels. Absolutely. Jupiter's amours continued. Then he committed incest with his sister. Who was born of Kronos and Thalassa, after the dismemberment of Kronos, and of whom were born Eros and Cyprus, whom they call also Dodon. Then in the likeness of Sator, a satyr, wow, he had intercourse. A satyr is an animal, y'all. So we got bestiality in her too. Then in the likeness of a satyr, he had intercourse with Antiope, the daughter of Nistis, of whom were born Amphion and Zethus. And he embraced Alcmene, the wife of Amphitryon. Look at that. In the form of her husband, Amphitryon, of whom was born Hercules. All this got to do with wickedness, sexual immorality. And he changed into an eagle. He approached Aegina, and the daughter of Asclepius, of whom Aeacus was born. Look at this. And in the form of a bird, he lay with Amalthea, more bestiality, the daughter of Phocus. And in a golden shower, he fell upon Danae, the daughter of Acrisius, of whom was sprang Perseus. Yeah, Percy Jackson, huh? He became wild as a lion to Callisto, the daughter of Lycaon, and begat Orcus II. And with Europa, the daughter of Phoenix, he had intercourse by means of a bull. Look at this. Of whom sprang Minos and Rhadamanthus and Sarpedon. And with Eurymedusa, the daughter of Achelous, changing himself into an axe, of whom was born Myrmidon with a nymph of Horatius in the form of a vulture, from whom sprang the wise men of old in Sicily. Not you mobsters. Not you mobsters. Sicilians, huh? Yeah, I know this is sickness. Sickness. And y'all, this is in a letter from someone who reverenced the guy. He's spilling the beans. Talking about all this allegory. Look at this. He came to Juno, the earth born in Rhodes, and of her were born Pergeus, Cronius, and Kydius. And he deflowered Osea, taking the likeness of her husband Phoenix, of whom Anchinos was born to him, of Nemesis, the daughter of Thesitus, who was also thought to be Alida. He begot Helena in the form of a swan or a goose, and again in the form of a star he produced Castor and Polydeuces. Polydeuces, many deuces. With Lamia, he was transformed into a hoopoe. Look at this. Look at this wickedness. Look at this. That's why the name of the class is the wickedness or the sin and folly of the heathen gods. Why do you think dealing with any other god, for the most part, y'all, you can have as much sex with whoever you want? There really ain't no boundaries. But dealing with the creator of heaven and earth, y'all, there's boundaries. There's rules. There's discipline. There's structure. It's righteousness. You see that? Again, should nobody be having sex outside marriage? Period. Period. There needs to be a covenant made. All right? And no, sex alone is not marriage. No. No. Because these millie mouth Negroes that try to get you off on that. We had sex, we married. Man, look, stop all that. Because a lot of these men out here and women, you understand, are led by the spirit of whoredom. All right? If ain't been no covenant made, if y'all ain't went before the Heavenly Father and all the elect angels on high, if you ain't went before the Godhead and you know, bound yourselves to a covenant, you understand? Then you just playing around. That's what's happening. And that ain't nowhere near no nation building. That ain't nothing but a broken family. All right? I ain't saying you got to do what the heathen do. You understand? But no, there's a covenant made. Go on record. Bind yourself under a covenant before the Most High and all the elect angels. You understand? And before witnesses here on earth. Yeah. Yeah. Real thing this. Nobody just tell you just because you done got, you know, turned on down in the lower regions. Oh, we's married. Yeah, all right, you playing around. And as soon as there's an argument or something, somebody back on the market. And somebody back single. You see that? No, stop playing. We supposed to be the examples out here. All right? Jupiter's undisguised wickedness. Amors. All right? In the likeness of a shepherd, he made Minimocene, mother of the muses. Setting himself on fire, he married Semele, the daughter of Cadmus, of whom he begot Dionysus. He begot Dionysus in the likeness of a dragon. Look at this. He deflowered his daughter Persephone. Look at this. Took the virginity of his own daughter, Persephone, thought to be the wife of his brother Pluto. Wow. He had intercourse with many other women without undergoing any change in his form, for the husbands had no ill will to him, as if it were a sin, but knew well that in associating with their wives, he bountifully procured children for them, bestowing upon them Hermeses, the Apollos, Dionysi, the Endymions, and others whom we have spoken of, most excellent in beauty through his fatherhood. Unnatural lust. All right. Homily 5, chapter 15. That's right, REI. Time out for folks telling you this or that. Search out the scripture for yourself. Exactly. Chapter 15, unnatural lust. And not to spend the time in an endless exposition, you will find numerous unions with Jupiter of all the gods. What? But senseless men call these doings of the gods adulteries, even of those gods who did not refrain from the abuse of males as disgraceful. Oh! Do y'all hear this? What do you think the abuse of males is? Yeah, sodomy. Bati boy. Yeah. Gods were in the home, their gods were into homosexuality as well. And it wasn't considered disgraceful. But who practiced even this as seemly. Not unseemly, but seemly. They look gay ass gods are just that, gay. Yes. Even of those gods who did not refrain from the abuse of males as disgraceful. Y'all, this same thing was going on in Egypt. But who practiced even this as seemly. For instance, Jupiter himself was in love with Ganymede, Poseidon with Pelops, Apollo with Cinyra. Y'all, these are men, males. Zacynthus, Hyacinthus, Phorbus, Hylas, Admetus, Separsus, Amyclas, Troilus, Branchus, the Timonian, Perus, the Potnian, Orpheus, wow, Dionysus with Launus, Ampelus, Hymenaeus, Hermaphrodites, Achilles. Well, Achilles in one of them depictions of him, the series Troy, Achilles is a quote unquote black man, and he is gay. Asclepius with Hippolytus, Hephaestus with Peleus, Pan, y'all know who Pan is. Pan with Daphnis, Hermes with Perseus, Chrysis with Theseus, Odysseus, Hercules with Abderus, and it goes on. I'm tired of naming all these gay ass gods. All right. Chapter 16, praise of unchastity. Look at this. Thus have I in part set before you the armors of all the more noted gods, beloved, that you may know that the fanaticism respecting this thing is confined to senseless men. Therefore, they are mortal and spend their lives sadly, because through their zeal they proclaim those things to be evil, which the gods esteem as excellent. Therefore, for the future you will be blessed, imitating the gods and not men. Apion is writing to this married woman and basically telling the married woman, hey, whatever you lust for, go do it. Whatever you lust for, go do it. Therefore, for the future, you will be blessed imitating the gods. Blessed imitating everything we just read, y'all, which was a pure abomination. Therefore, for the future, you will be blessed imitating the gods and not men. For men seeing you preserving that which is thought to be chastity on account of what they themselves feel praise. You indeed, but do not help you. But the gods, seeing you like unto themselves, will both praise and help. Yeah, Kiana Yashala, Peter Pan, yes. Yes. The constellations. For reckoning me how many mistresses they have rewarded, some of whom they have placed among the stars. Oh, now he gonna say these little harlots have a special place in the heavens. She up in heaven, y'all. Yep. Of some they have blessed both the children and associates. Thus Zeus made Callisto a constellation called the little bird, which some also call the dog's tail. Poseidon also placed the dolphin in the sky for the sake of Amphitrite, and he gave a place among the stars to Orion, the son of Uriel. Uriel, wow. That's a play on Uriel, probably. The daughter of Minos, for the sake of his mother Uriel. And Dionysus made a constellation of the crown of Ariadne, and Zeus invested the eagle, which assisted him in the rape. And Zeus invested the eagle, which assisted him in the rape of Ganymede. Right, and that's a gay union right there. And Ganymede himself with the honor of the water pour. Also, he honored the bull for the sake of Europa. Europa, y'all, is what they claim Europe is named after. Europa. And also having bestowed Castor and Polydeuces and Alina upon Leda, he made them stars. Also Perseus for the sake of Danae, and Orcus for the sake of Callisto, the virgin, who also is Dice for the sake of Themis, and Heracles for the sake of Alcmene. But I do not enlarge further, for it were long to tell particularly how many others the gods have blessed for the sake of their many mistresses in their intercourse with human beings, which senseless men repudiate as evil deeds, not knowing that pleasure is the great advantage among men. Chapter 18, the philosophers advocates of adultery. Wow. Wow. But why do not the celebrated philosophers extol pleasure? And have they not had intercourse with what women they would? Of these, the first was that teacher of Greece, of whom Phoebus himself said, of all men, Socrates is the wisest. Does not he teach that in a well-regulated state, women should be common? Meaning, don't Socrates, the philosopher, teach that all women should be passed around, shared? So when you see that in the Israelite community, women being shared and passed around, all that, y'all understand all that's the invention of a wicked demon. Those are unclean spirits. Understand that? That the heathen nation say is perfectly fine. Why not? Why not have it? 1 minute she his wife, next minute she the next wife. Or then reinvented herself and joined some other congregation and changed her Facebook profile and her social media profiles, and now she belongs to somebody else 3 years later. Didn't Socrates teach? He was the wisest. Did he teach that in a well-regulated state, women should be common? And did he not conceal the fur Alcibiades under his philosopher's gown? Look at that. Look at that. And the Socratic Antisthenes writes of the necessity of not abandoning what is called adultery. And even his disciple, Diogenes, did not he freely associate with Laius for the hire of carrying her on his shoulders in public? Does not Epicurus extol pleasure? Did not Aristippus anoint himself with perfumes and devote himself wholly to Aphrodite? Does not Zeno intimate indifference, say that the deity pervades all things, that it may be known to the intelligent that with whomsoever a man has intercourse, it is as with himself? Wow. Wow. and that it is superfluous to forbid what are called adulteries, or intercourse with mother, or daughter, or sister, or children. Look at this. And Chrysippus, in his erotic epistles, in his erotic epistles, makes mention of the statue and Argos representing Hera and Zeus in an obscene position. Close of the love letter. Y'all, we've been reading a so-called letter of adultery, an erotic epistle that Apion wrote to a woman that he thought Clement was in love with. Just so happened this woman married. Apion wanted to use magic. He told Clement, look, I'll teach you a spell you'll have in 7 days. Clement say, nah, that's evil. I'd rather die than use a spell. I don't want it unless I can spit some game to her, get her by words. Apion say, I'll write the words for you. Apion write the words. He get a letter to Clement. Clement read these words in front of everybody. That's what we doing right now. All right. Now look at this. I know that to those uninitiated in the truth, these things seem dreadful and most base. Wow. But not so to the gods and the philosophers of the Greeks, nor to those initiated in the mysteries of Dionysus and Demeter. But above all these, not to waste time in speaking of the lives of all the gods and all the philosophers, let the 2 chiefs be your marks: Zeus, the greatest of the gods, and Socrates, of philosophic men. And the other things which I have mentioned in this letter, understand and attend to, that you may not grieve your lover, since if you act contrarily to gods and heroes, you will be judged wicked. He like, look, unless you act according to that lust, you're going to be judged as wicked. Wow. It's no wonder there's no boundaries. It's no wonder where you live in a society today where all types of pedophilia and incest is allowed. Bestiality is allowed. You can marry a dog in certain parts of California. Stuff is allowed. And you think you ain't in ancient Greece or Rome all over again? Look what was going on. Look at this. He's saying, if you act contrarily to the gods and heroes, you will be judged wicked and will subject yourself to fitting punishment. But if you offer yourself to every lover, then as an imitator of the gods, you shall receive benefits from them. For the rest, dearest one, remember what mysteries I have disclosed to you and inform me by letter of your choice. Fare thee well. Wow. I, therefore, having received this billet from Apion, as though I were really going to send it to a beloved one, pretended. This is what Clement is saying. Right? Clement tricked Apion to spill the beans, basically. To spill the proverbial beans about the nature of the gods that the Romans and the Greeks served. He tricked them into writing a letter to this so-called woman that Clement was playing as if he was in love with. All right. If y'all understand what's happening so far up in there, go ahead and give me a 9 up in the chat. Now look at this. I therefore having this Clement talking. I therefore having received this billet from Apion, as though I were really going to send it to a beloved one, pretended as if she had written in answer to it. And the next day when Apion came, I gave him the reply as if from her as follows. Look at this. Clement straight playing dude. Page 111, 111. Okay, y'all getting some understanding our praises. Hallelujah. Page 111. I wonder how, when you commend me for wisdom, you write to me as to a fool. So Clement is responding to Apion's letter as if he's the woman that received the letter. Now watch this. I wonder how you commend me for wisdom, you write. I wonder how, when you commend me for wisdom, you write to me as to a fool. For wishing to persuade me to your passion, you make use of examples from the mythologies of the gods, that Eros is the elders of all, as you say, and above all gods and men, not being afraid to blaspheme, that you might corrupt my soul and assault my body. For Eros is not the leader of the gods, who has to do with lusts. For if he lusts willingly, he is himself his own suffering and punishment. Y'all heard this? If he lusts willingly, he is himself his own suffering and punishment. And he who should suffer willingly could not be a god. Can't be a god. You willingly agreed to come up under this demon called lust. But if against his will he lusts for copulation, and pervading our souls is through the members of our bodies, is born into intermeddling with our minds, then he that impels him to love is greater than he. And again, he who impels him, being himself impelled by another desire, another greater than he is found impelling him. And thus we come to an endless succession of lovers, which is impossible. Thus neither is there an impeller nor an impelled, but it is the lustful passion of the lover himself, which is increased by hope and diminished by despair. Clement's response is, look, if this so-called God you claim you serve is in subjection to lust, you understand, then he can't be a God, one, and whoever inspires him to lust is greater than him. And then the next question is, well, who inspired him to lust? And then who inspired him to lust? And you got an endless succession, all right, of lovers. That's impossible. All right. Then it says what? The lustful passion of the lover himself, which is increased by hope and diminished by despair. Lying fable, chapter 22, homily 5. But those who will not subdue base lusts belie the gods, that by representing the gods is first doing the things which they do, they may be set free from blame. Right? Because if your gods do it, how you gonna be blamed? For those who are called gods committed adulteries for the sake of begetting children, and not through lasciviousness. Why did they also debauch males? Why did they rape males? If you're claiming that what they did was for the sake of having children, well, you ain't getting no child. You know what I mean? Going up a rectum. Look at this. For if those who are called gods committed adulteries for the sake of begetting children, and it wasn't through lasciviousness, why did they also rape males? But it said they complimented their mistresses by making them stars. Therefore, before this, were there no stars? See, simple rebuttals can destroy the logic of a naysayer. So if the mistresses by which they committed adultery with and raped and committed incest with and did all type of pedophilia with, they made stars, then there were no stars before then, right? Therefore, before this, were there no stars until such time as, by reason of wantonness or lust, the heaven was adorned with stars by adulterers? Make it make sense. And how is it that the children of those who have been made stars are punished in Hades? Hold on. And how is it that the children of those who have been made stars are punished in Hades? Atlas loaded, Tantalus tortured with thirst, Sisyphus pushing a stone, Tydeus thrust through the bowels, Ixion continually rolled round a wheel. How is it that these divine lovers made stars of the women whom they defiled, but gave no such grace to these? Wow. Easily to debunk. How the hell they mama's stars, but the children that you made with the mamas are tortured in hell? How? How are they gods when they're subject to the lust of men? How? Why? Let's go over. There's more. Clementine homilies, homily 5, chapter 23, name of the class. Y'all see the title, name of the class. All right, Nazarene edition, part 30, the folly and sin of the heathen gods. This is part 2. We did part 1 on Wednesday. Wednesday is just passed. The gods know gods. They were not God. They were not gods then, but representations of tyrants. For a certain tomb is shown among the Caucasian mountains. For a certain tomb is shown among the Caucasian mountains, not in heaven but in earth, as that of Kronos, a barbarous man and a devourer of children. Further, the tomb of the lascivious Zeus, so famed in story, who in like manner devoured his own daughter Metis, is to be seen in Crete. And those of Pluto and Poseidon in the Acherusian lake, and that of Helios and Astra, and of Selene and Corate, of Hermes and Hermopolis, of Ares in Thrace, of Aphrodite in Cyprus, of Dionysus in Thebes, and of the rest in other places. At all events, the tombs are shown of those that I have named, for they were men. Y'all hear this? They very gods are nothing but men who were deified after they died. How do we know that? They got the tombs of these suckers. At all events, the tombs are shown of those that I have named, for they were men, and respected these things, wicked men and magicians, for else they should not have become deposed. I mean, Zeus renowned in story, and Dionysus, but that by changing their forms they prevailed over whom they pleased, for whatever purpose they designed. Chapter 24. If a principle be good, carry it out. But if we must emulate their lives, let us imitate not only their adulteries, but also their banquets. For Kronos devoured his own children, right? You're going to talk about, their adulteries, these sexual. Well, how come you ain't eating your babies then? Kronos devoured his own children, and Zeus in like manner his own daughter. And what must I say? Pelops served as a supper for all the gods. Wherefore let us also, before unhallowed marriages, perpetrate a supper like that of the gods, for thus the supper would be worthy of the marriages. But this you would never consent to. No more will I to adultery. Besides this, you threaten me with the anger of Eros as of a powerful god. Eros is not a god, as I conceive him, but a desire occurring from the temperament of the living creature in order to the perpetuation of life, according to the foresight of him who worketh all things, that the whole race may not fail, but by reason of pleasure another may be produced out of the substance of one who shall die, springing forth by lawful marriage, that he may know to sustain his own father in old age, and this those born from adultery cannot do, not having the nature of affection towards those who have begotten them. Chapter 25, homily 5, page 113. Better to marry than to burn. Y'all thought Paul originated that saying, huh? A lot of the spiritual things, a lot of the good things that you read in Paul's letters, y'all, he got from the disciples. Disciples were already out here teaching. Now look at this. Darius just put it in here. Site 5, YHWH'S mountains, the burial place of Zeus. All these little gods were men that were deified after they died. They men. Right. Don't watch too much Clash of the Titans. Better to marry than to burn. Since therefore the erotic desire occurs for the sake of continuation and legitimate increasing, as I have said, it behooves parents providing for the chastity of their children to anticipate the desire by imbuing them with instruction by means of chaste books, and to accustom them beforehand by excellent discourses. Right, you got to have that convo with them. For custom is a second nature. And in addition to this, frequently to remind them of the punishments appointed by the laws, that using fear as a bridle, they may not run on in wicked pleasures. And it behooves them also before the springing of the desire to satisfy the natural passion of puberty by marriage. First persuading them not to look upon the beauty of another woman. Yeah, you need to, especially when your children are coming into that adolescent age, marriage need to be on this. You need to be talking marriage with them. Because hormones are raging, absolutely. You understand? But they're young men and women in training. All right? That they not get out here and just have to fend for themselves. All right, we got to kill the baby mama and the baby daddy narrative in Israel. We got to get that out of it. All right. Close of the answer. For our mind, whenever it is impressed delightfully with the image of a beloved one, always seeing the form as in a mirror, is tormented by the recollection. And if it do not obtain its desire, it contrives ways of obtaining it. But if it do obtain it, it is rather increased, like fire having a supply of wood, and especially when there is no fear impressed upon the soul of the lover before the rise of passion. For as water extinguishes fire, so fear is the extinguisher of unreasonable desire. Whence I, having learned from a certain Jew, Yahudim, Israelite, this is what Clement is saying in his letter, but he's responding as if he's the woman. Once I having learned from a certain Jew, both to understand and to do the things that are pleasing to the Most High, am not to be entrapped into adultery by your lying fables. But may God help you in your wish and efforts to be chaste and afford a remedy to your soul burning with love. Chapter 27, a reason for hatred. When Apion heard the pretended answer, he said, is it without reason that I hate the Jews? Look at that I hate them Israelites. Here now some Jew has fallen in with her and has converted her to his religion and persuaded her to chastity. And it is henceforth impossible that she ever have intercourse with another man. For these fellows, setting God before them as the universal inspector, of actions, are extremely persistent in chastity as being unable to be concealed from him. The hopes confessed. My bad, y'all. We almost done, all right? Now I'm going to show y'all that little gay-ass high priest. The hopes confessed. When I heard this, I said to Apion, now I shall confess the truth to you. I was not enamored of the woman or of anyone else, my soul being exceedingly spent upon other desires and upon the investigation of true doctrines. Until now, although I have examined many doctrines of philosophers, I have inclined to none of them, except only that of the Yahudim. A certain merchant of theirs, having sojourned her in Rome, selling linen clothes, and a fortunate meeting, having said simply before me the doctrine of the unity of Yah. Apion's resentment. Then Apion, having heard from me the truth with his unreasonable hatred of the Yahudim, and neither knowing nor wishing to know what their faith is, being senselessly angry, forthwith quitted Rome in silence. And as this is my first meeting with him, since then, I naturally expect his anger and consequence. However, I shall ask him in your presence what he has to say concerning those who are called gods, whose lives fabled to be filled with all passions are constantly celebrated to the people in order to their imitation, while besides their human passions, as I have said, their graves are also shown in different places. These men who they call gods are buried, y'all. Meaning they're not gods. They were men who were deified after they died. Chapter 30, discussion promise. The others, having heard these things from me and desiring to learn what would ensue, accompanied me to visit Apion. And we found him bathed, sitting at a table furnished. Wherefore we inquired but little into the matter concerning the gods. But he, understanding, I suppose, our wish, promised that next day he would have something to say about the gods, and appointed to us the same place where he would converse with us. And we, as soon as he had promised, thanked him and departed each one to his home. We're going to pick back up tomorrow in homily 6. All right. Clement meets Apion. All right. All right. Clement meets Apion. All right. So look, let me go ahead and stop the screen on that one. All right. All right. This was actually part 2. Nazarene edition, part 30. All right. The folly and sin of the heathen gods, part 2. All right, part 2. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is the Clementine homilies, which is Peter's journal. All right, 1st century. Yeah, all the so-called people who have their PhDs and doctorates in theologies, they know all about what we're talking about. All right, it's not a game. They all the scholars know about the Clementine homilies. Peter's journal, 1st century. Nazarene Acts of the Apostles, Peter's journals. They all know about it. It's studied. All right, you just got to ask yourself why it ain't in the Bible. It's very revolutionary. All right, you can get that on Amazon, y'all, for a few dollars. All right, let me find this because I want to share something with y'all too. All right, I actually want to share something with y'all. All right, y'all got some understanding? Give me a Yahoo up in the chat. Yahoo up in the chat. All right, let me share something with y'all. See if I can email this to myself. Hold on one second. Oh man, this is ridiculous. And all your boys, Sonetta and them, Sonetta, Polites, all these Jabari and them, all these committee cats, they real quiet about this cat. I'm going to show y'all this cat. Real quiet. Right? And this cat ain't under no illusions. None. All right. Email this to myself. All right. Comedic fag. Title line, bang. Now, let me email this to myself. It's coming through. And I'm gonna play some of this for y'all. Brother Judah, that's what's up, Doc. That's a spirit. It's a spirit. All right, let me go ahead and get this for y'all real quick. I see y'all in the building. Good to see the brothers and sisters. Peace, love, light, healing, and balance. All right, believe that and know that. All right, let me go ahead and go into this email real quick. Yep, it came right through. Now, this cat right here, I found out he in Atlanta. I found out this cat is in Atlanta. All right. Hold on. Hey, man. Hold on, good. Hold on, good. Hold on. Hold on, man. Hey, man. This is ridiculous. This was 7 years ago, too. I gotta show y'all this, though. Y'all gotta see this madness. Hey, man. Name of this video was World's First Openly Gay African King. King Rasuma by something. King Raseman by Ifag Beamy. He's got fag in his name. F-A-G. You can't make this up. Oh my Lord. Hold on, good. Oh, hey man. Hold on, good. Hold on. Hold on. Oh man. Most high. Because the Egyptians and the Greeks ain't do nothing but adapt what happened with the, you know what I mean, what happened with moving down in Egypt, yo. Hold on, good. Hold on, man. I can't even believe this. Hold on, good. Oh, man. And they know about this dude. Y'all see that? Look, his last name is Ifag Bemi. Master Ra Sima by Ifag Bemi. That's his man's name, man. What is going on, girl? Hold on, dog. Hold on. Hold on. Let me hit play, man. All right. But look, of course, your gods are gay. Your gods are gay. So, of course, you're going to try to imitate that. All right. Y'all, that's an unclean spirit and it's evil.
Yes, my name is King Ra Sumabadi Fagbemi. I was born in the United States of America, and I went to school at Princeton and Columbia Universities. And I studied there East Asian studies and had a strong interest in Buddhism and the study of Asian religions. And during my time at Columbia, I found Kemetic temples in New York, meaning African Egyptian temples. And from there, I took a few classes and became very involved in Kemet. Later on, I met a man by the name of Chief Afolabi Epega, who is a very renowned Babalawo. His generations of priests go back to the 1300s AD. And he was in Nigeria, and he said, I will initiate you. So I went there and became crowned the high priest and the king, and was told to come back to build the temples of the gods of Africa. I moved to Atlanta, built 2 temples there, and eventually closed those temples in order to open the final one, which is the Golden Beetle Temple, a temple just for gay men and our spirituality. Well, the Golden Beetle is a temple for gay men, and it is a spiritual path. In fact, it's the world's first openly gay religion. It is based upon the religious teachings of ancient Kemet of Egypt, and the men study the mysteries of Egypt. They learn the gods of Kemet, they learn the rituals, the chants, the meditations, and all of the training required to become a shaman. As a shaman, they're able to use the powers of the spirit to make things happen, to help heal people, to counsel people, and to bring to the earth the light that is the rainbow of the gay spirit. The Golden Beetle exists just for gay men, because we have a unique experience. We are not women. We don't have a woman's experience. We are not heterosexual. We have a gay experience that's gay male. And we have to have a space that is safe for us, a space where each person understands each other without having to speak about it. And there are certain things unique to being a gay man, and those things must be addressed in our own community, in our own way. So we do not open to other groups because I'm here to help a specific need. We can't teach women how to be women, and we can't teach heteros how to be heteros. And by the same token, heteros can't teach gay men how to be gay men. So in this case, it's best to be taught by those that understand you from their own experience. And that safety is what makes the golden needle so potent. Yes, we teach the secrets of shamanism. You learn how to meditate, how to astral project, how to speak with the deities, how to work with lucid dreaming. We show you how to work with plants and oils, how to make mixes of herbs and roots. You learn how to work with the gods of Kemet, called the Nazarene. You learn about their cycles, the things they love, their myths, and their powers. Basically, a shaman is someone who uses the powers of the spirit, what you call psychology, in a very divine, natural way. And through using these plants and herbs and myths, you learn to project the powers of your mind beyond your body to effect what one can call works of magic. All gay men, by nature, are shamans. If you are gay, you are a shaman. And the Golden Beetle shows you the techniques of how to activate your particular talent as a shaman. Most importantly, gay men need the Golden Beetle. The Golden Beetle is a religion. It is the world's first openly gay religion. And that's for good reason, because religions hurt us often. We are told we shouldn't exist, we don't have rights, that the Supreme Being doesn't care for us, or wants to burn us in some inferno. And that kind of talk is very hurtful. Many gay men's souls are bleeding internally by the words of people with hateful language in the name of their gods and their religions. So, the Golden Beetle has come to give gay men a safe spiritual sanctuary where they can discover what it means to be gay and spiritual from our experience, from our point of view. So this is what gay men need most of all. Many things in our community.
Yeah, I done had enough of that madness. Y'all already know. Hey, but look, that's to prove that the lewdness and the nudeness of these so-called heathen gods, whether you talking about in Kemet or whether you talking about Rome and Greece, the people perpetrate the actions of these so-called gods. Look at that. And every Negro on YouTube or on Facebook that pump up that comedic whatever, you dig, like Sarnetta, like Jabari, like any of these clowns, they don't bring him up. That video was made 8 years ago. And he said it's based off the teachings of ancient Egypt. So what else you need? The wickedness and the folly, or the wickedness and the sin, the folly and the sin of these heathen gods, y'all. You understand? And again, we're going to open up tomorrow in Homily 6. All right? Look, even down to the spells being cast. You see that? The black woman tell you today that that's what's happening today. They was doing that back then. You see? See, because look, it ain't like the literature ain't out there overwhelmingly for these other gods. They okay it all. Bestiality, homosexuality, adultery, incest, pedophilia, it all go. But then when you get down with the creator of heaven and earth, the power of the mighty one of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he's holy. So we ought to be holy. We ought to mimic our creator. We ought to mimic our creator. That's how you know this is true. That's how you know. Everybody else, you can do whatever the hell you want. In this, everything got to be brought up under subjection. Prolonged periods of fasting, meditation, prayer. You understand? No sex outside of marriage. And marriage is between a man and a woman. It ain't between no, like that. That nigga has fag in his name. Yes. Yes, and that's how you know, because the Most High God is separate, holy, set apart. All right? I don't know what he talking about. He could have joined any other religion. I mean, outside of like Islam, and he could have went and joined anything, and they'd have okayed that madness. He could have went and joined anything, Kama Sutras and all that, and they'd have okayed that. So, you know, I just wanted to show that that's part 2 of the folly and the sin of the heathen gods. I pray everybody got some understanding. I see Nehemiah in the chat. Come on in here, man. Let me send you a link, brother. Come on here and give us your spiel. All right. Yes, ancient Kemet had a heavy gay culture in it. Heavy gay culture. Y'all, why you think we becoming so hard now? Like, look, we're not ascribing no wickedness to our gods. None. Because that's to speak against them. Our God is righteous and good. All right. Nehemiah just sent you the link. Click on that link. I'll come on in here and talk to us. Oh, good. You're following the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or the Elohim, or the mighty one of Yaakov. You know, it's discipline there. You understand? Even down to the whoredom, that ain't allowed either. We just read out the Clementine, it's better to marry than to burn in your lust, man. Better to marry, you might as well go ahead and come on to a covenant marriage. You understand? Better to do that than to burn. All right, Nee, I just sent you that email out. Come on in and talk to us for a little minute. Give us a prayer on out, if you can, my beloved brother. All right, y'all got some understanding? I'll pray. Let me see you all up in the chat. Let me up in there. Brother Judah, bless up. REI, bless up. 70 Randall, my California sister, bless up. My Pete in the building. What up? All right, bless up. Nehemiah, bless up, bless up. Ima Ahuba set apart living, bless up. Derry, my Darius, the young sniper in the building, bless up, bless up. Good to see y'all in the building. My Akshem Mordecai Yisrael, my beloved brother, bless up. The professional athlete in the building. Q Felicia J, bless up. Hallelujah. Yermi Yah Ben Israel, my beloved brother, bless up. Bless up. Mikael the Battle Axe, Agdino. Good to see you in the building, King. What's the word? Tay Israel, bless up. Y'all say Millie Vanilli, yeah. Yeah, Millie Vanilli, all right. Kia Oni Yasha Allah, my beloved brother, bless up. Naama, bless up, bless up. Shemuel Israel, bless up. Derry CM777, bless up. You want a book list? Email us. I'll go into the description link. Email us. We'll send you a book list. Lisa B, bless up. Imai Robbie Dobson, bless up. I see y'all in the building. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all in the building. Nehemiah in the back chat. Let me bring Nee on. Nee! What's going on, big brother? Talk to us.
What's going on, bruh? Yo,
Yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you.
What's going on, family?
What's going on with you, bro? All good. See, you still got your PPEs on.
Man, bro, I'm so dead tired, brother. I ain't take the deal off yet. You're
ain't took the PPEs off.
Tired, bro. Oh, my wife just looked at me like I was crazy. Let me put that back on.
Put that back on, man. What's going on?
Ooh, I almost got in trouble, brother. I had to look like, what are you doing? He's tripping on the camera. No, man, look, bro. Look, he told you the truth. You ain't got to believe honor and humility. He told y'all the truth. He told y'all that there are spirits, and those spirits got to be taught by other spirits. You see what I'm saying? So they want to be able to come together where they can dwell together and deal in that homosexual spirit. He said no straight man can teach a man to be homosexual. I agree. No woman can teach you to be homosexual. She can give you effeminate ways and energy, but she can't teach you to be homosexual. So he want to be able to come on in there. You know what I'm saying? What up, Akshel? Pete, blessings to your house and family. Yeah, he want you to come in and be able to be one with that wicked spirit. And look, again, this war, this fight, this walk is spiritual. So again, that man didn't lie. He told you he had a spirit on him, and with that spirit, he want to commune with other spirits. And this man tell you that he is the king, openly gay king. But again, this ain't nothing new, man. If you sit here, I guarantee if you look back, because I know me and Mally and them back in the past, we done found Egyptian glyph writings with boys buried together and all kinds of stuff we done came across. Especially when we was in our debate spirit, when we was going against all these different people. Like, bro, we all, hey, come on down. Bring old Tefnut down. Come on home with Tefnut. We'll talk all about all your gods.
My little Tefnut.
Yeah, little Tefnut. And bro, hey, look, it's crazy. And we ain't trying to be funny, and I'm not really talking about this man, but it should be on our channel. If it's not, I ain't got my old channel. I'm gonna see if we can find the videos and put it back up here. I probably have to go to the God's Warrior and take it. But the video where we had that debate with the Egyptologists down at the old Sirius building.
Yeah.
Hey, look, that brother had an effeminate spirit on him. We called that out.
Yeah.
You rock with that religion. And look, Mally, you made a serious point too. I just want to bring out the points so nobody can miss it. If your God is gay, what's next?
You gonna imitate that.
If you deal with Greek, you know what I'm saying? People don't know, like, how did you get Aquarius? That was a boy. Zeus came down, picked him up, fell in love with him, took him back to Olympus, had him as a water boy, and his sexual way with him. Yeah, Zeus. Old thunder-cracking Zeus was a butt thunder-cracker. Literally. If you check out what I said, butt thunder-cracker.
Wow. Wow.
And he loved that boy so much that he made a constellation. That's how the Greek constellation for Aquarius came out. From the water boy that Zeus fell in love with. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, that's wild, bro.
And that's why you have to understand that's why your God is different from any other God. That's why we attribute holy to him. Totally set apart. And that's why your God wants you to be on the same thing. Because just like when you read about these other books where Egypt, they ate alligator, they ate everything that you would consider unlawful, unclean, and then add the understanding of meat. They ate all the stuff that you wouldn't eat. You see what I'm saying? You want to be like the Egyptian. That's why he always told you, learn not the ways of the other nations, nor around you. Envy not your oppressor, choose none of his ways. You know, so look, man, if you sit there and say you Egyptologist, I look at you sideways anyway. Because the same Egyptologists, right, are the same people that would put you in captivity today. How I know that? Because it's historically true, right? And then look, that's why they cool with this system. Those Egyptologists don't bang against the system of oppression because they are the authors of that system of oppression. And they understand that they are being honored here by enslaving you and making merchandise of you because that's what they did. That's why you got pyramids on your dollar. Every time you go into one of your court buildings, you see all Egyptology rhetoric all around the building, along with Masonic rhetoric and other God rhetoric around. You see what I'm saying? Y'all, this battle is definitely spiritual. But when we was looking at the video the other day, or when we was doing the video the other day, well, I should say Matt, I wasn't online with him. When he was doing the Thomas, when you sit here and you understand you're dealing with some spirit, when you understand that you are a spiritual being and you have the power that Christ promised you, right? It told us to pray. And when you pray, you're supposed to manifest that prayer with your feelings and emotion as if you already got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how powerful. Like me and Dre was talking Malaki today. I was doing hard spirit. So hard spirit gonna look good to you when you go out there. We're talking about Christ gave us the perfect example. He didn't walk with no doubt. If he asked for it, he understood that his father would give it. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we have to be. And he told us, if you believe this mountain be cast into the sea, you know what I'm saying? With the faith the size of a mustard seed. But no wrath and no doubt. We know, you know, mountains can be governments, principalities, all that.
Yeah.
You can walk with straight victory and manifest everything that you need. You know what I'm saying? We've been saying it all the time. Well, there's willpower. We call it affirmations. You know, they give you many names they give to it, right? Give me a bottle of water, please. Thanks. They give many names to it, bro. But you have the power to self-will yourself. Imagine you don't even use 100% of your brain. You ever tripped off of that? So imagine if you activate that pure willpower that's actually inside of you. That's why Christ said, greater works you'll do because I go to the Father. If it was not so, I would not have told you. You see what I'm saying? So when you deal with the folly of these other gods and then you sit up and you see that the same worship that Israel had, the worship that all of us are trying to get back to at the time when all of us was doing everything wrong, we thought we was doing everything right. We got to rethink this thing. These series, we're 30 in plus the little tidbits here and there. We have to revisit what we've been taught. What is our focus? What are we shooting for? What are we aiming for? What are we trying to get back to? We really trying to get back to Eden in Zion or in Jerusalem, in the New Jerusalem. You see what I'm saying? That's where you're trying to get back to. And it won't be no death and no sack, no blood, no all that's been satisfied. No artificial lights. Everything is back to one. You know what I'm saying? So when you understand you're dealing with a spiritual battle and then you see though, oh yeah, that movie Lucy was deep, Brother Judah.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get that download and I'll send that back out.
I might try to watch that tomorrow or something. Yeah, that was
Lucy was a good one. But look, when you think of it, look, we saw it in Matrix. You know what I'm saying? He said, you tell me I'm better move like the agents. Morpheus said, what I'm trying to tell you is when you believe, you won't have to.
Right. Right.
Hey, boy, hey, look, because he was like, you know, we was down the roof with the helicopter.
Yeah.
And they were like, you move like them. Then he was coming, then he was in the train. And he started running, right? Trying to get to the phone. And then he stopped. And they was like, what is he doing? He's beginning to believe. Hey, I'm telling you, man, me and Dre was on it all day today, man. And it's crazy you come up with this class showing that same, it's whatever spirit you're dealing with. If you're dealing with the Almighty and his spirit, why you ain't got the Almighty victory?
Right.
Over your life. And that always be on my head, hey, bro, whatever you're going through, don't let that change what you got going on and come short of what you called to do. So, and thank you for that too, man. You always keep me encouraged, bro. I appreciate that.
Man, I ain't got no choice. You know, I ain't got no choice. Hey, man, hey, look, we banging.
You know, and I try to encourage that her to grow on both our heads, man, but I got to put more faith in it.
Hey, Hey, you already know. I ain't gonna let you stay down. You know, I know sometimes brother need to get himself. Hey, check in. What's good? Let's get it done. You know, we got to get it done regardless. You know what I mean?
Man, trust me, I love all y'all, man. I love everybody. I done talked to probably about everybody in this room. You know what I'm saying? And look, bro, I got mad love for y'all. You know what I'm saying? If I can help in any way, you already know. Ain't nothing but a phone call away.
Absolutely. It's funny you bring up the Matrix because you know, anybody know me, you know, they're my favorite movies. You know what I mean? Like I can't never watch them enough because I'm into cerebral movies. Like it's stuff that make you think, stuff that have you like, so much into it. I'm about to go order the book that you see Neo reading in the beginning of the first one. Remember, he went in there. He had programmed a program for them that was illegal, and then the cat showed up in the door with the chick that had the white rabbit on her back. And he was like, "If you get caught with this, you ain't get it from me." Right? He went inside a book and grabbed that. You dig? I'm gonna tell everybody go back and look and see what's the title of that book and see if you can order it. Because I'm about to do that. I'm about to order it. It's about simulation.
Man, look, I just had the Matrix trilogy up on the big TV.
Yeah, I be on that type of stuff. Like, man, let me see if that's a real book or something. You know, there's stuff like that. But you know, they got the new one coming out. The Matrix 4 is coming out. Yeah. You know, I got to get that.
Hey, look, we want to make a trip, brother. A group trip.
Yeah, you know, I got to watch that. Cause look, I was at the first one when it came out. The first one that came out, what was that? 99, 2000, one of them? I think it was. I was the third.
Like right down there.
99. If I ain't mistaken, I think the last one came out in 2003 or 4 or something like that. But yeah, that's just me. That's what I be on. I be on all that. If it's cerebral, something to make you think, trying to figure things out. But I like the part. It's either in part 1 or part 2 where he was talking to he went to go see the Oracle. I think it's part 1. He went to see the Oracle, and the little kid, the little child was out there, and he was bending the spoon. Remember that? He was bending the spoon with his mind.
Oh yeah, little boy.
He's bending the spoon. He was like, "There is no spoon."
Hey, look. He's gonna do it like this.
Yeah, see, I knew I wasn't tripping. That came out in 1999. Huh? The very first man. I was there. I went to the movies and saw it. You dig? So yeah, you know I got.
Boy, you got some good recall, brother.
And then look, we probably do a movie review. We probably do a movie review on the channel. Like, hey, what you think about it? You know what I mean? Call on in. You know what I mean? But that's all like. They're my favorite movies
of all time. We can even pull it up right now on the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, you got to pull it up on the trailer.
Hey, look, the trailer gave so much stuff, it makes you want to go see it.
Yeah, let me pull that on up real quick. You right.
You been trying to pull the trailer up?
Yeah, let me pull the trailer up real quick. Close out some of these tabs. Boy, you see that video we played earlier about the eggs? Did you see that, boy? That video about the eggs.
Hallelujah from where we at now, bro.
Man.
Hey, tell me you ain't grateful for where you at right now.
You said what?
I said, ain't you grateful for where you at right now, boy?
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, absolutely, yeah.
Hey, look. Don't try to bend the spoon with your mind. Let me see if I can find that clip, bro.
Hey, this Matrix is called not Revolution. That was part 3. This is Resurrection.
Resurrection. Con.
Here go the official trailer right here. Let me play that. Man, yeah, I got to see this. Let me play this real quick.
See you later, not having Wi-Fi when you want it. Hello to a phone plan.
All right, let me go ahead and bing. Sure. Pete, hey, Pete, I see you. Pete be on it. Pete be on it. All right. Chrome tab. Matrix Resurrection. Sure. Hold on 1 second, y'all.
Thomas, you seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened? I've had dreams that weren't just dreams. Am I crazy? We don't use that word in here.
Have we met? One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small. And the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall.
Time to fly.
And if you go chasing rabbits, if you want a truce from you, you're going to have to fly me. And you know to fall.
The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up. You don't know me. No?
When the water and the horsemen have fallen, so be dead. And the white bride is talking backwards, and the red queens are overhead. Freedom, dawn of set.
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
Yeah, man, I might do the IMAX on that one, bro.
Yeah, that deal gonna be on HBO Max too. Yeah, might not even have to go.
HBO Max, we there, but look, I gotta go to the screen to see that one, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see that too. I'll probably go ahead and go do the same. We probably go ahead and make it a Nazarene
night out.
Nazarene night out, done. You know? Hey, but look, I see the Wachowski brothers are still behind it. What I want to do tomorrow, I want to open up the class tomorrow before we get to the homilies and all that with the sister who is actually responsible for the Terminators and the Matrix.
Yeah, the sister.
You know what I mean? Yeah, she got a few interviews out there, very powerful. That's an Israelite sister that's behind all that. All right, and she sued them and got her money. You know what I mean? Because they stole her intellectual property and came out with it. All right, the Terminators and the Matrix, because both of them have the chosen one in there. John Connor, JC. You understand? Neo, the one. No. Yeah, Pete. My favorite scene in that, the architect, when he ran down when he ran down on the architect, and they had that conversation. He was like, "You still ain't answered my question." He was like, "That was faster than all your predecessors." He like my brother. Yeah. I'll pray. So I'm gonna open that up tomorrow with I think her name was Charlotte Sophia or Sophia Shaw, something like that. But I'm gonna find she had a deep interview. You know what I'm saying? Sister gotta be no more than she gotta be in her 60s. And she wrote all this stuff back in the early 80s. And they stole her intellectual property. It did. Nehemiah, give us a psalm. Let's pray on out, brother. All praise and glory now to the Most High. Good to see y'all in the building. Peace, love, light, healing, and balance. To the faithful elect. Recall Neo a reminder. Yeah. You are the anomaly. Call them an anomaly. I mean, I might go watch some of that, boy, because I used to try to memorize the whole conversation dude was having with him back and forth, man. You are the anomaly of an unbalanced equation or something he was saying to him, Pete. I was like, dang. Hope. The quintessential something he was saying. He'd be like, if I was you, I would hope we wouldn't meet again or something. He said, we won't. Because he was like, bump all that. I'm about to go save my wife. You did. Yeah, an anomaly. Sophia Stewart is her name. That's right.
Told her not to be there when he come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hope. The quintessential failure or something like that.
Yeah, the quintessential flaw, something of the human something. He was talking so quick.
And all that.
I
got one scene, man. I want to play my little scene.
You said what?
I want to play my little scene, then
Play
pray
your
out.
scene, man. Let's do it.
See if I can remember to do all this stuff. All right.
Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon?
Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself.
The Oracle will see you now.
Yeah, that was my little part right there. But it was like,
Yeah. Only bend yourself. There is no spoon. Man.
hey, bro. It makes sense because with that Thomas, man, like that thing that blew my mind. Say, bro, like the what do you call it? The spirit. Everything has to yield to the spirit. Like what's alive, what matters, like what we have around us. Everything yields to the spirit. You see what I'm saying? I forgot how I said yesterday when I was reading that Thomas, like they was bringing back in the parts of, that was taken out and re-putting them back in. Man, taking out the power, bro. Like when you take stuff out that Bible from its original context, boy, you take out power.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have that full faith, full belief, and add your feeling into it.
Yeah, and he say be enveloped, be surrounded with your answer. Right? And unite your thought, your feeling, and your emotions. And when you do that, you understand, and you live as if it's already answered, you understand? Your magnetic heart and your electric thoughts manifest that what it is that you desire. And the prayer is more with the feeling than with the words. You understand? Makes sense. I got the gospel of Thomas. It makes sense.
Man, make all the sense.
Make all the sense.
And then here we is talking about the Matrix. And when you realize like what we got right here, this ain't even real, bro. All this stuff don't even matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter. Everything around you is vanity, bro. And if it's vanity, it's what? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? I remember back then you used to say, man, we're gonna teach our kids, man, to do the impossible early on.
Yeah.
Ain't that how powerful that is?
Yeah. I better see you little jokers flying next time I see y'all.
I'm telling you. Put your
little jokers
mind
maybe
to it.
on the walls next time I see y'all. You know what I mean? Ain't no can't. You can't say can't be in your vocabulary around here, man.
Exactly. Like that walk on water, you know, that was serious. When you keep your mind focused on the Messiah, he had that emotional attachment. He wanted to go to his master. You know what I'm saying? He had everything he wanted, the desire, the feeling, and the emotion. And he walked on that water. You hear me? But then when he started tripping off the storms and the raging and the rain, the distractions.
Yeah.
He started sinking.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's power right there in that whole little bit of passage.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
But yeah, man. And then when they put their full faith to work, then they was able to go out into the world and teach. So they knew they could just call down a miracle because they believed. Anybody who had the power of God with them, they believed, bro. Abraham believed. Moses believed. Noah believed. You know what I'm saying? Jacob believed. You know what I'm saying? Christ believed beyond belief. Sat at the right hand of the Father. He knew he had all power.
Man, hey, and look, once you settle in and understand it, hey, you do too. You do too. You just gotta believe it and put it on out there. You dig? And fight for your mind, your spirit, your soul. All right. You gotta choose not to let certain things rest up in you. Yeah, they gonna come invading, but you gotta bind them up and get them gone. Remember this: the Most High is not praised with the spirit of sadness. Joy. He gave you the spirit of joy. He gave you the spirit of power, love, sound mind. You understand? Yeah, Sophia Stewart is her name. That's what I say, Charlotte Sophia. I think that's some heathen. You're right, Sophia Stewart. Yep, I'm gonna
I found that book.
I seen a powerful interview. I seen a powerful interview of hers last year. You understand? And she breaking the whole thing down. She's the one that they straight stole her intellectual property. The Terminators and the Matrix is hers. An Israelite system. Dig? So, all praise and glory now to the Most High. Nehemiah, let's get us a prayer, man. Let's get it done. All right? Let's get it done. All right? The name of that book in the beginning of the first Matrix, Darius, the young sniper, just put up there. Simulacra and Simulation. I believe that's an actual book, huh? Yeah, you put it on Amazon. Yeah. Yep, I'm about to order that deal. You know what I mean? It was on my spirit earlier today. I said, you know what? I remember that book. They had a book in the beginning of that deal. I'm going to order it. If it's available, I'm going to go grab it. How much it costs, Nate?
$17.95 to get the paperback. But if you want the hardcover, $753.
Well, I'll be getting the paperback, player. I'll be getting the paperback, player. Yeah, but I gotta watch the Animatrix too, like the Pete keeps saying. Because I never
seen the Animatrix.
I ain't never watched the Animatrix. Never watched it. I started watching cartoons a while back, man, so I never got into it. But I'm about to watch that. Absolutely. I never watched it. I don't watch cartoons. I don't watch cartoons. You know what I mean? Only the closest I get to cartoons is putting it on for my little jokers. Team Umi Zoomy and all that extra. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, you got to check the Animatrix out. It's automatic. It's going to connect the dots. Them little dots that you be missing.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
But yeah, I put the Amazon book in there, so you can order it on Amazon, $17.
Yep, some Malaki, matter of fact.
Bing, bing, bing. Matter of fact, Neve, you can text it to me because I can't click on it. I click on it, it's just gonna show on the screen. Yeah, I can't click on it. Just text it to me. And I'm gonna make sure that deal get ordered, player. And the Matrix, I mean, I don't know if that's on Netflix or not, but get on Amazon. Amazon Prime. They'll find it. It's somewhere. Yeah, no doubt. All right, Nate, what we got?
I'm looking at Psalms 121.
Ah, yeah. The Psalm of Degrees. All right, go ahead,
All right, I sent that to your email. Come back here. All right. Psalms 121 with the Most High's permission. I will lift up my eyes into the hills, from which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Most High, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil, and he shall preserve thy soul. Verse 8. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Hallelujah. Selah. Yahoo. Yeah. In the conversation, real thing this.
Real thing this. That's right. Most High preservers. All right, y'all. So peace, love, light, healing, and balance. Y'all willing, we right back up 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, fellowshipping with the family. And we're going to continue this conversation about the following and sin of the heathen gods. All right. Going into, the Nazarene teachings. All right. The Nazarene teachings, as was spoken by Mashiach and passed on to his disciples and even to the men they trained up. All right. Can't go wrong that way. All right. Then you got any last words, my beloved brother?
No, I'm ordering the book, brother.
Right. Now I feel you. Same here. You send that to the
see your email.
Which I got several emails about this.
Whichever one you email me from to log into the class. I just hit reply.
Ah, well, that's the honor and humility. Yeah. Anything else important?
Yeah, man. I just pray that the Most High cover and keep all of us. You know what I'm saying? If it be His will, grant us a grand rising. You know what I'm saying? Another day to get it right. I know a lot of our brothers is observing tabernacles at this time. I thank God even for the new revelation because we just came into the first, well, not a second full day of fall, but when it's like the fourth or fifth day. But when that feast started, it was technically still summertime. Mm-hmm. And the feast is not a summertime feast. Just let me let you think, y'all. Because if you ever kept the feast before, you always kept the feast. It was always cold because we always had that fire going outside. Brothers had heaters, propane heaters, everything in they tent to keep warm. Big electric heaters or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Generators going. But it was still summertime. by the solstice and by the and all that. So just something to think about, man. It's what make me feel good about being on the right track. Yeah, Iman. You know what? Iman sent me that calendar. I gotta send it out to everybody. Iman, can you resend me that calendar again? And I send it out when I go into bed.
Put it up in the Honor and Humility, whatchamacallit? Put it up in the Honor and Humility Facebook group. All they gotta do is download it. She sent out a gang up on Wednesday while we was on her.
Yeah, she can post directly to the group. I made her where she don't have to have it because she usually stay on everything. So I made it where she could just post without us giving the okay. Just go ahead and post.
Absolutely, brother.
So yeah, Imam, you can post that in the Honor Humility on Facebook. If you can, add that attachment. And if you email it to me again, I'll send it out. Probably be tomorrow because my wife going to bed. The other wife up here with me, so we're supposed to be getting up early in the morning to go swimming. Brother, it's swimming. Hebrew is going swimming now.
All right, bro, that's what it do. All right, y'all, I'm about here. I'm gonna fall back too. And I gotta wrestle down my little jokers before they, do their thing. So I'm about here, love y'all indeed and true. Right on for y'all prayers and y'all support. Peace, love, light, healing, and balance to the nation. Balance to the Nazarene scene, brotherhood. Balance to all you brothers and sisters. Shout out to all the haters, jaw jackers, and naysayers. Right on for the free promo. You understand? Much love over this way. It's all good. And let's get her done. All right. Till the next time. Look at Nehemiah. Till the next time. We about her. All praises. Yo.
Yo.